That's me. I'm meant to do things now. Hey, welcome back to the Dynasty Grind, a live thingy stream. They're called streams. Anyone? They're both ignoring me. Yeah, welcome back to the Dynasty Grind, where we talk Dynasty fantasy football for normally about 3 hours every Wednesday night from 9:30 onwards. If you have any questions, drop them whatever comment box on the streaming platform you're watching this on, and we'll work through them democratically or in order or as our want desires. But normally it's in order. I'm just mentioning that because normally we get about 30 minutes in, and at the bottom there stop being comments. Do they interact with chat? Which is weird because it's what we do the entire time. But yeah, it's just that it takes us a while to get down to the comments you're dropping right now. We'll probably see in about an hour, just so you know. So maybe come back and watch it on YouTube. I don't know. But we tend to have fun. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're going towards the playoffs. You should definitely know if you're buying, selling, holding, or whatever else by now. Special week this week because we have both. What are their names? Russ and Zach with us this week, both healthy and just looking like they're full of energy and ready to go. So, yeah, thanks very much. And let's do it. I got nothing. That's my introduction. I'm actually just going to do a regular introduction because I've got nothing terrible that I think's fancy to say instead. So let's do it. Yeah, if you guys could just go ahead and do a show while I send trade offers in my leagues, that would be great.
I didn't realize how much I missed that intro music. Being 2 weeks off and then
realize how little he misses you. He forgot your frickin' name while you were gone.
That's all right. I forget my name too.
I forgot both your names. I'm democratic.
That's because you're just such a heavy drinker, Zach, that you black out all the time.
I actually get accused of drinking a lot. If you see my Twitter timeline, it makes sense, which is always just, haha, I don't do that. I'm even less.
No, I'm just bad at typing.
I'm just terrible. No, I don't even have that excuse. Yeah, what's up? What's going on lately? Everyone's hurt. We can basically wrap it up, go home. Can we do the off-season now? I would like that.
I'm ready for non-point scoring season. Let's go.
Next Wednesday, I start watching college film.
Next Wednesday.
You do that in January.
No, that's when we do the show.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so next Wednesday I start watching because I'm taking Wednesday off because that's the day I booked my dining. So I'm taking all day Wednesday off, booking my dining for my vacation, and then also watching college film. So we're almost to the off season.
Do you know who you're starting with?
Probably running backs, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do because there are a couple wide receivers that haven't really played much this year, so I might be able to get out ahead of that. But if you have requests, I will take them.
There's this guy named Bijan coming out that I hear is going to be good. You could watch him for me. I'd appreciate it.
I start with the early stuff, Russ. So it takes me a while to get to now, but I can do that.
What's the difference between Cooper Kupp and DeAndre Hopkins in value right now?
Kupp is worth more.
Strong second?
Yeah.
Strong second. All right.
But that's what I said. Like if, and we're gonna get into this, so maybe I should just wait. But if I'm a team with Cooper Kupp, you have to go into it realizing that you are not in a position of power right now because you are probably a contender. And now you're looking desperately for points.
Yeah, it's a very specific situation where you will be able to make a trade like this. I traded. Well, I guess let's tell the whole story. Cooper Kupp went down. I go into the group chat for the league. I feel like it's not a shocking take that I hope you have a group chat for all of your leagues, by the way. And I said, who wants to buy Kupp a little bit cheap to give me some points? And it was a middling team that is probably making the playoffs that said yes. And they sent me Debo for Kupp.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I don't want to take this.
But I think Debo and Kupp are about the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did. Like, I think I'm gonna try and move him like before Sunday, because I think I would rather get like a younger wide receiver and then just a player who scored, like, get me like a Tyler Lockett and someone who has dynasty value on top of that.
See, that's my problem. I'm always trying to do everything with every trade. Like, I want my points, and also can I get Rashad Bateman so I have some future value? And then, also throw this tight end in because I like tight ends. And then they're like, no, that's too much. I'm like, damn it.
I mean, yeah, I click buttons. You don't have to, sell me on that. Like, yeah, I do that way too much.
Yeah. Anyway, Paul, sorry, buddy, I brought you up and didn't even mention your question. He was in here at 518. Like, way to go, Paul. Talk about dedication. 18 PPR. I'm currently 7th, so I started trading for the future. Just gave up Sutton and Antonio Gibson, and he got London and a third. How did he do? I think that's a good trade. I like it. I think London and Wilson and...
I think I might want a little bit more on the back end, but I don't think that third does anything for me.
Yeah, but I don't think it's the difference between a third and a second stops me from doing this. With how disappointing Sutton is and Gibson, you're never, especially in a rebuild, you're not going to really want Gibson. And even if you magically start contending, you're not going to feel great about starting him. So you might as well just... Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think looking at it this way, Sutton and Gibson probably have more value, but they only have value to fewer teams in your league. Like, not everyone in your league is going to want to value Sutton as we might want to, or Gibson for that matter. And London's just more of a universal piece, so I kind of like it.
Yep,
I like it a lot, actually, Paul. Good trade. Scott McCoy, 12-team, 1 QB, half-point PPR. His roster is Dak, Aaron Rodgers, Barkley, Mixon, Gibson, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Waddle, Adams. You're just here to brag at this point. Tight end, Mark Andrews. Should I send Mixon and Jeff Wilson and Kupp? What? Mixon
Should
for
I
Jeff
send
Wilson and Kupp?
Mixon
Yes,
for Jeff Wilson and Kupp?
I would do that. That's a weird trade for Kupp, but yes, fine, sure, whatever.
I mean, I guess it depends on where you're at too, though.
Yeah, like that's going to hurt you decently for this year. But
is it Jeff Wilson scoring about what Mixon is the last 2 weeks?
Has it been that good? I mean, not to say that Mixon's going to score 50 points every single week, but
Mixon did have a 4-touchdown game, don't get me wrong, but I'm pretty sure the last 2 weeks, Jeff Wilson cemented his takeover of that backfield, and he's looking. I was going to ask if the difference between Kupp and Hopkins is Jeff Wilson, because you're getting just this year points off him, actually.
Yeah, that's more than enough. Well, no, I would take a second over Wilson, and I said a second, but if you want the points, I don't think it's terrible. I don't feel good about it, though.
Yeah, I mean, Wilson's been okay. I mean, he's been good. The last 2 weeks, he's been the running back 3 overall. Mixon has been the running back 1 with a bye week. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that you can't take that 55 point.
Yeah,
but he was also Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp is bigger than that difference, is what I mean.
Well, but you're not getting Cooper Kupp. My thinking is you're not getting Cooper Kupp back this year.
Yeah, I mean, even if he does in time, they're going to shelf him. There's no reason to bring him back this year.
He's not coming back this year.
So yes, vacuum. Yes, Jeff Wilson and Cooper Kupp is the value.
You think there's better moves he could do to increase?
No, but I think if I do not trust Jeff Wilson to be Joe Mixon. Yeah, is what I'm saying. And so if I am competitive, if I am looking to win a title this year, I want to roster Mixon. If I am, doing well, if I'm 4th, 5th, whatever, yeah, I'll take Wilson and Kupp and hope that Wilson does what he's been doing and that I didn't lose a beat, and then I get Cooper Kupp next year. So it's like everything. It's your roster dependent, your team situation dependent. But in a vacuum, yeah, Wilson Kupp, yes.
He's essentially getting out of Mixon right now and trying to maintain his points per game a little bit with Wilson and add a wide receiver. It's a weird trade because it's an old running back and the old wide receiver is the value part of it. Right. Looking at his team though, I kind of get it. It's 1 QB, 2 good running backs. Actually, it might be the Zach Reed special. If you're looking to do something with Mixon, I would try and go improve your Dak or your Rodgers up to Mahomes.
Zach
Allen.
Reed special.
That's what I'm calling it from now on. And try and get that difference-making young quarterback, because then you're getting your future value in your years and also that quarterback difference that some people undervalue. But the trade, honestly, trade feels fine to me. But Zach's right; it's a weird ass trade.
Yeah,
like it doesn't help
it's not a bad. Yeah, it's not a bad trade. It just is a funky, like, if you are the 1 or 2 team, I don't know if I make that.
Wondering if the Josh Jacobs owner doesn't like Josh Jacobs and thinks he's done next year. You might get more value on top of Josh Jacobs.
Do we think people still think that at this point?
I don't know. I have no idea what people think. Alvin Kamara, he's also old. That's the thing. Mixon's in that old running back class. There's not a lot of options for you, so I can understand why he came to a weird one. Who's a fair target to try and trade Gibson for, or is he better off a hold? You're a winning team, man. I mean, I understand wanting to improve your value. I do, but you're a winning team. So you're in this really weird situation where everyone we can suggest who's a good target is going to hurt your team this year. And that's not...
Like, what if you went for someone like Amari Cooper?
Not going to get Amari Cooper. And also, he wouldn't start him. Do you remember his roster?
Nope, I didn't.
I mean, that means you're running back 3 in case of injury.
Oh yeah, start 8. You need to package Gibson to get anything right.
Yeah, I was trying to play. That's why I remembered. I was like, could I add Gibson to Adams and go? No, that's weird. Also, I don't know who I would target outside of quarterback. Your team's set, so it's just value players.
So this is a team where I would be thinking about, if I still have my first round pick. This is a team where I would be thinking about doing, like, kind of like, Russ, what you and I just did in Olympians, where you could throw a first and Gibson and go get one of those running backs on a team that's not competing. Ooh. So one of the McCaffrey.
You say you and I still have my first.
Travis Henry. Would be a really good one for you.
But what?
Yeah, Travis Etienne would be a really good one for you.
But I don't think anyone's. I mean, maybe, but I don't think they're trading Etienne for a single first. Etienne
and Gibson.
Etienne to start next year is probably going to be the running back 2, maybe 3.
I was going to say top 3.
Yeah,
it's going to be top 5 easy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it, but
I still want to put Breece up there, but Bijan, Breece, Etienne. Like, I don't know if Gibbs is that good, but
they might hold Barkley in the top 5 still.
Ken Walker,
a little younger than Kupp. I mean,
Ken Walker. I worked with a guy named Ken Walker, so it's really weird. Like, I liked calling him Kenneth Walker, but he says he wants to be called Ken.
But that would be one of the it would be, to me, it would be like Kamara, it would be Derrick Henry, it would be McCaffrey, it would be the older running backs, and I would try to pair my first and Gibson and try to get, if there was a non-competitive team with one of those players, that's what I'd be trying to do. I don't know if you can get that done, but that's what I would be trying to do.
See, his running backs are good enough. I'm more interested in, like, quarterback's the only position he doesn't have a true top 3 at the position, if you know what I mean. And so I keep coming back to that. But all of those are good ideas, Scott. Hopefully one of them can work out for you. Well, not mine. They had some good ideas. Robert, 12 teams through flex start 10. Not playing for this year. Send Higgins, get back London in a second.
No.
Russ.
No.
Russ.
No.
I'm not saying he should do it. I'm just saying put the Higgins love down just for a second and then look again. Like, I don't think it's terrible. I probably know. Second's not enough to really make, and those years aren't enough to really tempt me personally. London still has some work to do to really do well this season. He's probably going to get there, but it's just, I'd probably just keep Higgins myself.
Yeah.
If you're productive struggling, this is the type of move you do, right? You're just buying back years, and that's why I kind of hate that as a wholehearted do it every time. But I don't. It's a fine move. Value's good. and you're buying back some years. But I'd keep Higgins. Russ says get London. He hates. Send Carr and a mid-23 first. Receive Tua because he has Waddle, which doesn't matter, but it's nice to know, I guess. Carr and a mid-first to get Waddle.
12 teams who flex. Yeah, I would send Carr and a mid-first and Waddle.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
And you still have 2 first. That's awesome.
Nice. Hey now, 10-team best ball. Superflex Dynasty PPR. Give Josh Allen, Matt Ryan, Singletary, who's injured now, I've just been told. Get Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, Eckler, and a late 23 first. I like Eckler on the first, but no, not a chance. No way. Get out my DMs. You can't have Josh Allen for a pick. Sorry. Like, I get you getting 2 firsts here and Eckler, but if Geno Smith and Daniel Jones are meant to carry some value in a Josh Allen trade, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get like Superflex really does lower the value of studs, but still it's Josh Allen. Yeah, no, I'm 10-team. Everything is just going to make me lean saying, I'm not even going to bother thinking about this anymore because I'm just going to be going closer and closer to saying it's Allen and stop talking about it. So just going to stop talking about it.
I mean, I think you get Eckler and 2 firsts. It's a weird ass trade. Eckler's a win now piece. Josh Allen is always a win now piece, but you also get Josh Allen. Sorry. Robert, 12-team Superflex start 10, not competing this year. Send Higgins and Pollard get London.
Stop it!
You're adding to Higgins at this point, and you get Elijah Moore back though.
No, it's still Higgins
by far. Yeah. I love Elijah Moore the player, but it ain't happening for a while if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Rambo, 12-team Superflex tight end premium rebuilding. Lots of that going on right now, Rambo.
No.
Multiple 23 firsts, got offered Toney for a mid to late foot. No. We missed that window.
Sorry, I read that quick and said no, don't do it.
Yeah. What do you think of Toney? Last week was good.
Only because he got a touchdown.
Yeah.
I wrote him up this week and tried to be positive, and I was like, look, I don't think many teams are giving up a first for him right now, so I'll continue to hope that this is a positive trajectory. But if anyone offers me a first for it, I'm willing to get out. Side note, did the same thing for Tyreek Hill, so, just throwing that out there.
I unfortunately was with you on that one.
He had that was the single biggest separation yardage of any player that PFF had charted because everybody went left and he went right. There was nobody within 23 yards of him. That's how much separation Kadarius Toney created, Peter.
Wow, 23 yards. That's probably pretty good. Could you
That's
tell
impressive.
me in meters?
No.
And Dynasty Outhouse Truther, 12-team Superflex PPR start 10. DK Metcalf.
Yep.
And 2:24 seconds. Give Christian Watson. Yes.
Yes.
White.
Yeah.
This is how not to buy young players. These last 2 trades. No. I said the same thing for Watson. I'll be hopeful, but if someone's willing to give me a first, I'll get out. And DK Metcalf is 2.
There was, we'll call it discussion so I moved the Trade Addicts chats over to Discord, which I am so thrilled I did. So there's like a general chat for all of the people in Trade Addicts leagues, and then there's the separate individual league chats. So in the general chat was a conversation about the value of Rashad White, and it was all based around a very bad offer I sent. We only had 2 trades for the show yesterday, so I'm like, well, crap. So I went into all the leagues and I just started clicking buttons, and I sent what is going to be the 202 for Rashad White and what's going to be a very late in the playoff second. So it was pretty much moving up the entire round and paying Rashad White to do it. And I was pretty much scoffed at and was told I paid the 203 and now it looks like he has the starting job. So I'm not accepting less than the 203. I had words for that. Lots and lots of words because yeah, you paid the 203, but what's the 203 last year worth this year? It's just the 203. It doesn't matter. Oh God, yes, it does.
Yeah.
But the question, but then everyone chimes in, like agreeing and disagreeing with both of us about different aspects of strategy and all of that. But everyone just said he's probably worth a first at this point. Literally, no one is paying that right now, though.
No one in. Yeah, everyone's going to say he's worth a first. No one's going to want to trade it. I will trade for him for a package that equals a lower first, even. But the first is just no. I'm not. I'm in a trade addicts league.
You are
throwing that out there. I'm not in that Discord.
You should.
I've invited you to my Discord.
That's because you don't actually check
Discord, by the way,
where the old chat was, where I posted.
No, because I'm not in it.
You don't check the message board where I posted on there.
No, because who checks the message board on my fantasy league? No one.
There's this thing called email alerts.
We talk together face to face once a week, and you're telling me like you couldn't have mentioned it? Like I'm meant to go check a special group me thing that I'm not in?
You're in the group me for TA.
I don't know why this came contentious. I just wanted to mention I wasn't in it. Could I get an ad? I didn't mean this to be a
Why
fight.
are you like
you're
this,
instead,
Peter?
You're instead trying to place blame instead of like, oh, okay, yeah, sorry, I'll send you like a message on any one of the million ways you can be contacted. Instead, it's just, oh, well, let's get to the root of that and place the blame on you. I find that toxic.
Good. It was meant to be.
Fair enough. I have a Discord, by the way. Get in it before Twitter collapses, I guess, because I want to keep talking to everyone. Scott, back again. 12-team, 1 QB, half-point PPR, start 8. Give Devontae Adams, get Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those... It's one of those weird lateral, like, positional trades, but I think you're buying back a couple of years, so yeah.
Is it a couple or is it like one?
I'd have to look that up, Russ. I will effort that for you.
But also, I think with Miami's offense just being that much better than Las Vegas's, I would also be a little willing to do it. But it's one of those weird same position, same tier. Because I think Tyreek is literally the wide receiver 1 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take Tyreek Hill. Having Waddle doesn't affect me, just in case that's why you were mentioning it. Like I'm fine. I'm fine harassing 2 good players from the same team. That's awesome. Cecil, or Cecil, or said in some kind of human fashion. How you doing? 12-team Superflex, start 10 PPR. He has Brian Robinson. Trade Brian Robinson for Montgomery.
In position, same tier. I mean, maybe Montgomery does a little better now that Herbert's out, but like, I don't think I care enough to do this.
Yeah.
Like maybe something happens next year, the offense gets a little better in Washington, and Brian Robinson may become a thing. Monty's not going to be any better than he is now, and right now he's not very good.
Yeah, it's just kind of a I don't care enough trade. Like I'd rather trade Robinson for a second. And if I want a running back, because I'm trying to get points, but I mean Jeff Wilson's out there. Cordell Patterson maybe. Like Monty wouldn't be my target for points at running back right now. So
yeah.
Is Waller washed? I mean, I hope he bathes regularly, but
yes,
dad jokes.
He wasn't doing well before he got hurt. Now he's hurt and he's on the IR. And
yeah, I don't know. Probably, yeah, at this point. I'm not trading for him.
Darren Waller is in that big glut of tight ends that don't matter. If we look at the flow chart, he's in that wasteland.
Except we had expectations for him.
Yeah. A couple of years ago we did.
I mean, into this year, the expectations weren't super high or anything, but there were still expectations.
I mean, Hunter Renfrow ate his lunch last year.
That is a very interesting way of wording that.
I hope you get fed some other way then. I hate to think of I don't know. Moving on. Lakers ex-Commanders trying to make a contending push. I will say if you're looking for that tight end, and that's why you're asking about Waller, it's Kittle. Like Kittle's someone I think still probably with it and is kind of entering that glut of tight ends Zach was just entering about in value, but I actually think he's still potentially better than that.
Yeah.
So Kittle's one I'd target. Lakers ex-Commanders trying to make a contending push, 10-team, half-point PPR, start 8. Trade away Ramondre Moore, Palmer, and a mid to late 23 first for Aaron Jones, a second, and a first in 24. I don't hate it. Jones is the best points per game upside. Rondon Moore the best value piece, but you got a future first, so you're improving your points per game, and you're getting
the point of this
future first.
Oh, it says trying to contend.
So you're just trying to get Aaron Jones,
right?
Yeah, and he's got a first for some good young players, and a first this year. It's a little much.
I mean, why don't you just send the first for Aaron Jones if that's what you're trying to do, and then you keep Rondell Moore, or try to get Aaron Jones for Moore and Palmer, like whatever. But
I would say he's trying too hard.
It's one of those. It's one of those where like you made this a bigger trade than it needs to be for what you're trying to do.
And I think you've essentially doubled what you're paying for Aaron Jones.
Yeah,
it's a very
oftentimes when I am getting ready to make a trade, I will ask myself what I'm trying to accomplish and pare that trade down to that specific thing, especially if I'm contending. Like if I'm not doing the Russ, like go and cascade trades. I just did this again, Russ, to bring up the 12 Olympians. I was sitting there. The number one team had Cooper Kupp. He got injured. I beat that team this week. I'm now in like third or fourth place, but I am definitely a contending team. Like my team puts up enough points when I don't screw up the starting lineup that my team is good. And so I was like, all right, as much as I hate to do this, I need to go out and get running backs. And so that's what I did. And I went and targeted 2 running backs and added them. So that I think you're kind of looking at the same thing. Like you want Aaron Jones. So go get Aaron Jones. Don't worry about getting the fourth back. Don't worry about the second. Don't worry about, figure out what it is you need to trade to get Aaron Jones and make that trade. Or if that doesn't work out, find another team, find another player, because there are 15 players that are doing what Aaron Jones is doing.
Yeah, this is just hedging bets and not wanting to lose picks, and that makes it very convoluted.
Yep.
Which, I mean,
if you're already losing,
more power to you, but
if you're already losing the 23 first, I mean, you're losing it. The 24 first. I think what it might be is that it's a start 8 and more, and Palmer aren't coming in at a high value. But again, just keep him then. He should accept the first for Aaron Jones pretty happily, and you're losing less for the same thing. I think you're going too big brain on it. That would be my take, though. I mean, Aaron Jones is a fine player if you just want to do. Isaiah, smash that likely button. Okay, bud. Thank you very much.
Well, you can't make fun of anybody for dad jokes. You just rang off like 6 of them.
I didn't make fun of him. God, the hate's flowing my way. Greg DeLute, by the way, speaking of Isaiah Likely, everyone think he's done now? Can I send trade offers on him finally? Because he was down last week and disappointed people after the build-up. Oh, he's top 5 now, and then he didn't finish in the top 12. And everyone's like, oh, we're done with this.
I think Russell Wilson may actually not be as good.
Good?
Yeah.
But, I mean, the 3 weeks before that, DeLuch was doing pretty well. Yeah. Dolchich. And that, I don't know, I think maybe he's good still. Thought I'd throw that out. Tailor-made rebuilding team. Would you hold Deontay and Toney, or what could I look to get better? I mean, Taylor, sorry, there's just so many options. It's like, I mean, there's a lot of players I like.
Go get DK Metcalf. I do that, and I think that's a reality that it could get done.
Yeah,
though it would have to be someone who actually believes that Deontay is talented and that team can't get worse.
That's the thing,
and not someone that's just like, well, the Steelers are terrible, so no.
I think Deontay's a hold in most cases. Not a lot of people are excited about him. Toney might make them excited because they might be excited about Toney. And then it just comes a list of players that you like. Waddle's too high. CD Lamb's too high. Deebo Samuel, maybe? There's some sadness on him. I mean, he's in the Cooper Kupp tier. Worth 2 firsts, I guess. DK Metcalf's in that tier as well. So, for me. So I think that's a good suggestion.
Yep.
I think if there's anyone. Bateman's who I'm looking for, but this is too hot. I'd keep Deontay.
Yeah, no, that's too much for Bateman, I think.
Yeah, switch positions. Go get Breece Hall. Have you looked at the recent offers for? Have you looked at the recent, like his values, his rank and his ADP is actually okay still, but it is the lowest ADP we've seen in a while on running back. But have you looked at the trade finder for Breece Hall recently? Like I hadn't thought of suggesting him, but I was recording a podcast with Seth Woodcock, yesterday, and he said that's a guy he's really interested in making an offer. And I went and looked him up. And like of the last 10 trades, there's maybe one of them I thought was iffy. I thought every single one of them was the Breece Hall side. He's really, and that's why he came to mind right now. Breece Hall's really interesting trade value right now. So that's what I would do. I'd actually switch positions. Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, if you're a glutton like me, for punishment. Or you go to tight end. Try and get Pitts, I guess. If the owner is really fed up, probably not though. Or Hawkinson plus. You need a plus. Muth plus.
DK's the real win.
Yeah, Andrews will. I think Breece Hall's the real win if they'll do it.
Breece Hall is a good one too. That I like that. And that's another one of those, like, maybe the Breece Hall window is past now, but the Breece Hall, I think a lot of those trades you're seeing, Peter, is that the position of power was the team that, didn't need to score points and could roster Breece Hall, as opposed to the team that had Breece Hall who was scoring a ton of points, and now all of a sudden you need to replace that.
Yep. Peyton Massey. Good evening, gents. 12-team Superflex PPR contending team. Trade Geno on a first in 23. Top 5. Wow. For Dak, no. I like the idea of sending offers on Dak, but this is the kind of stumbling block here. Like, I mean, no one's actually lowered his value weirdly. So
if you take out
Claypool's nothing.
Yeah, and like if you take out the games where, like, the game where Dak first came back, and like he's played like 2 games since then, he's averaging like 25 points per game. Yeah, but Geno's averaging like 22. Like,
yeah.
You're spending an early first for 3 points per game.
It's close enough to Kyler Murray and Herbert and Burrow that I'm like, go get those guys if you want to spend this level of value. Add a little bit and go up.
It needs to be a difference, and you're not going to really get that unless you're hitting up the Hurts, Allen, Mahomes level at this point when you're moving up from Geno fucking Smith. Sorry, what am I saying out loud?
It's the most fun L I have ever taken. As someone who had no opinion on Geno Smith this year, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take that L just to be involved. Like, this is fun. Really love it, to be honest. I like it when a player wins, because versus the NFL, players don't win.
Always root for the player. Like 90% of the time, root for the player.
He has won his ass off this year. It's pretty cool. The first isn't his, obviously. Good to know, man. Order 66, Zach, very nice to see you back. No shade on Russ and Peter. They were great in your absence. We tried our best.
No, we fully, Peter and I fully know.
We are like, hey, let's just get through this.
They are awesome, but it is good to be back. I appreciate you.
Shane, traded Tyreek Hill. I was trying to make a gelato joke, and I just could not get there quick enough. So we're talking about Shane now. Traded Tyreek and the 23-106 for Jay Jettas. Who's Jay
Jefferson? Justin Jefferson.
What is that? Jettas, like that Jay Jettas, by the way. Like, I have no idea what that is, but I know who it is.
It's his Twitter handle, isn't it?
Is it? No idea. I'm
neither cool nor young enough to get that. But yeah, that's straight up win.
Yeah, I like that. I get that your points are equal right now, but you're also buying back like 7 years.
Yeah.
So I like.
Yeah,
it.
you're getting the same points, but like 4 or 5 years younger. So that's just how Dynasty works. And also, I just prefer Jefferson. The way he plays, the sustainability.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyreek Hill will keep doing it, but he does always need to catch a long distance target, and that's always just puts my heart in my throat a little bit. He will keep doing it because again, but take Joe Jefferson or Jay Jettas, as apparently the kids call him. Has anyone seen any cut trades? I haven't seen any go through. No. Oh no, I tell a lie. In that multi-copy league, someone who has Kupp, not me, managed to trade him for Josh Jacobs and some pieces, and I thought it was a really smart trade. He's competitive like me. He's top 10, and so he's just trying to keep his momentum going.
I was recording the DLF trade show, and actually, no, that's not. I was randomly looking through the DLF trade finder and saw that I was looking for Christian Kirk trades. Someone traded Kupp for Christian Kirk.
Woof.
Christian Kirk, wow.
Wide receiver 7, Christian Kirk. Yeah, him.
He is really high right now. Don't get me wrong. Over my dead body.
He hasn't had his bye yet, so he's wide receiver 7. In points per game, he's 16.
Which
Maybe
is
that's
still,
higher than I thought he would be.
Yeah, over.
I don't know why, but I always select super flex even when I'm looking for a wide receiver trade.
Yep. Cooper
Kupp and 2 firsts. Cooper Kupp and a second for AJ Dillon, Jahan Dotson and a first. That was terrible. Cooper Kupp for Najee Harris and a first, 23. I think that's a good one. Wow, Deontay Johnson and Cooper Kupp for Jamar Chase and a second. Jamar Chase all day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so league dependent. That's why I kind of love this trade finder, because sometimes you can just look and be like, "Oh, there's no set value. It's just is there a moron in your league?"
I love how judgy you get to be. Yeah, contracts and be like, "Why?
You're like, God, you idiot!
I'm so much better than you."
But to me, it's the other way around. It's humbling because you think you know so much and you don't really have any idea about what's going on.
This is what happened when Zach's here.
Sorry,
we become.
The other side of the coin can happen too, but sometimes like Gabriel Davis, the 108 and a second for Cooper Kupp. It's an interesting one.
It's actually a good haul.
Yeah,
excuse me.
You were busy at the beginning of the year telling me I would never get anything for Gabe Davis, and I just
I took my L by week 3. Thank you very much. It did not taste good.
Was that the week you went 2 for 171? And
I will say I work on predicting volume and how volume works, and I was fucking right.
Well,
like,
no,
down to the inch.
But
to the damn target. I've got 2 target range. I am exactly right.
Peter,
I'm just wrong on the effect.
This is what we were talking about, though, when we had the show with Jacob Rickroad, when we did way back, and you guys were slamming, and all of a sudden I looked down, and Gabe Davis was actually going at wide receiver 40 in Dynasty, and I said, the fact that he's going at wide receiver 18 or 19 or 20 in redraft is ridiculous. But the fact that he's going in as wide receiver 40 in Dynasty is also equally as ridiculous, because you're going to have weeks like that and people are going to get excited and you're going to have a window to trade him, or he's a perfect wide receiver 3 flex play. Yeah. He's perfect because he can score you 40 points in a week. And there aren't that many guys who can do that.
Thing is, not to get into it because I don't really have a new opinion on it, but he's also not Deshaun Jackson. The thing about Deshaun Jackson was he wasn't just a wide receiver flex. He was a 20% target share guy.
Right.
And the ones that I know that have done something like what Gabe Davis are doing right now are very here 1 year, gone the next. And there's no reason to expect that Gabe Davis to stop doing what he's doing, to be honest. But I can't think of any that have sustained it year over year. And that makes me a little more... maybe it'll work out in the long run. I don't know. Where are we? Carl's 100 team Superflex PPR non-contending. Give Evans and a second for Kupp, or rather Evans and a 24 second for a 24 first.
I'd rather take the 24 first.
Then Kupp?
If I'm giving up Evans, I guess it depends on the. To me, it seems like you're making the move for future with this, and I would rather just, if I'm going for the future, go for the future. Like, even coming into this season, it was difficult to get a solid first for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah,
actually, I'm trying to get in the headspace of trading Cooper Kupp because it's not one I naturally slip into. Like, Cooper Kupp is just on my roster till I die. That's where I'm at. That's me. But I need to trade him in this one league where I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win, damn it. And what I did to get myself there was think this time next year, even if he comes back and he's still 95% of what he was, which is all questionable, he will no longer be tradable for anything. Even if he comes back and is still him, he'll be 30, going on 31. Very slim market for players that want to win anyway. And so that's where I think I was like, am I trading for something that will get me something close to what I can get right now, but in a year? None of these trades do that for me, though. Like, Cooper Kupp is not worth more than Evans next year. And that 24 first is not worth what Cooper Kupp is next year. Like, so I don't like these. I don't like.
Do you have to give a second to with Evans to get to a first? Is Evans that man? So Carl's,
he actually scores.
It's the second one, Carl's.
If you're going to do any of them, just get the first, because, I mean, you won't be able to trade them for what Evans or Kupp are worth one now, but you will be actually able to trade them for worth. It will be worth more than both of them by the time you get to this time next year. So that sucks. Dynasty sucks. Let's do redraft from now on. Anyone want to come with me? No. Best ball? Just straight up best ball.
No.
Patty Mills. Hey. I don't think we've seen you before, Patty, or at least I don't remember it. And if you have been here, then I apologize. I don't remember a Patty. Welcome in. Just traded Schultz and a mid-23 second for a late 23 first and Adam Thielen.
Win.
No, tight end premium. Absolute win. Yeah, I like that a lot. Good job. Traded Kupp and Amon-Ra for Rondell on a contender.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra's.
Yeah, love it.
Yep.
I love
Oh,
that.
wait. I got the side wrong. Yes. Kupp for Amon-Ra straight up would be a win. I wouldn't expect to get Rondell. Like this, I feel a little bad for the other person in this one.
The Rondell Moore hate is strong, Peter.
I mean, it's...
Really, because I've been trying to get him back because I traded him looking for points in a few places, and now I want him back, and they're like, nope. But yeah, Ronald was awesome. I would say last week was striking because Toney and Watson both had a single good game, both of which were highly suspect and disappointing. From the separation you were talking about with Toney and the fact, like, Watson had his best game ever, catching half the ball thrown at him. But that's every tape grinder I went and looked at, they were like, he's running the wrong way. Like, all the tape was bad. And yet Rondell Moore's put up half a season of great stats, and no one cares.
If you had been in the DFPN chat, because that was the game that I was watching, was the Green Bay game, because I was at my in-laws' house and I only had one game. I didn't have Red Zone. I had the Green Bay game. And every ball that was thrown to Watson, I typed in the chat, Christian Watson is doing Christian Watson things again. So, like, he caught the first ball for like 65 yards and a touchdown. And he had like 4 yards of separation. I'm like, that's exactly what he does. The next ball was thrown and he's wide open. He drops it. I'm like, yep, Christian Watson doing Christian Watson. You know, he had 2 catches, 2 drops, 67 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So I was like, this is who Christian Watson is. Here we are.
No, I don't feel like I stated myself strongly in the article I wrote this week. So I was trying to be positive because occasionally I do that. I don't think I underlined enough for them that they're very much sell now if you can get a first. But still, yeah. Where were we? Freak said, nice work, fellas, as well as complimented someone else's trade. Bryce asked a late 23 first for Ayuk Ayuk for Waddle.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ayuk's one of those players where he looks like a value to me. Whenever I go see the ranks or I check the trades, they're like, oh, Ayuk's really interesting. but then I see what you can do with him instead.
That's it.
And I'm like, no. Yeah, Waddle all day. Good job, freak. Gavin, do the Saints know they don't have their first this time? Killing Olave. Olave's good to be. Well, I mean, if you're playing for this year, it's gonna suck. But Olave is like the only rookie wide receiver over 600 yards. Like, I mean, we've mentioned this, right? Like, he's a rookie wide receiver who's been a trade whatever good older player you can to get him. Like, there's one every class, and it's Olave. It's not London. It's not Wilson. It's not Traylon.
There was murmurs, whispers, grumblings of Jameis coming back. I'm ready.
I just want Taysom Hill to take over,
and we need like a grumblings alert. Grumblings alert. Tell him that. John, 12 teams who flex tight end premium. Should I took super bad breaks early and started selling. I've got to a point where now I only have Dak, Hurts, and Tannehill. I feel like there's more to this. There it is. Maybe. 12 teams who flex. Wide receivers are Waddle, DK, Pickens, Dotson, Toney, Bateman.
If you're rebuilding, you don't care about scoring. Why do you care if you're thin at running back? You don't want running backs if you're rebuilding. So
well,
yes, sell Monty now.
Absolutely sell Montgomery. Yes.
Yeah.
I think his point might be that he might be selling, but he's got like DK and Waddle. He's got Andrews. Like, there's a competitive window there, but I think you just keep up with the sell, John.
Well, that's it. Like,
so yeah.
And honestly, age down from Dak. I know that he's like 29, so he's plenty of years left. But
yeah,
like if you want to, I mean, you're a little thin at wide receiver. So like if you downgrade Dak and grab like, I don't think you've listed your picks, but like if you could downgrade Dak and get like, I love Trevor Lawrence. So even though he's not scoring all those points, like Lawrence at a super solid wide receiver back, and if you have a first or two, and you just happen to grab the right running backs, you're competing next year.
Right.
Like you have a really solid core.
I was gonna say maybe sell Hurts instead because he's younger and he's doing better, and Dak is okay. But I just looked up his trades, and yeah, don't sell Hurts.
No, you build around Hurts right now until like exactly what Peter said. He came in on the DLF 1 QB's mocks ADP. He's QB3. The trade value is not that.
Yeah.
It needs to be that.
Yeah.
Before considering it.
Trade Freiermuth and Kadarius Toney for Kyle Pitts. I am never gonna say yes to that.
I will.
If you believe in not even Kyle Pitts becoming the tight end we want him to be, if you believe that Kyle Pitts' value will go up from right now, you make this trade.
I don't send Muth to do it, though. I think
I do.
I know you do. But you can get that trade done without Muth. Muth is not this highly valued. I think this gets rejected for a start. That's not Kyle Pitts' value right now.
If it gets rejected, that's fine. But I'm definitely sending Freiermuth, who's a tight end. He's in that big group of it doesn't matter. I know you like him. He's in that big
group of it doesn't matter. In his second season after having 2 fantasy relevant seasons. That's a different thing than fucking Gerald Everett.
Yeah, but it's not a different thing than Kyle Pitts.
He's in the Goddard tier. And value-wise, Pitts
he's in the Goddard tier 4 years younger than him. But regardless, I just think you can
tight ends. I mean, like, not the top tier tight end, but in
I think Moose... Yeah. I think you can get a Kyle Pitts trade done. I like the energy. I will stick on a player I think whose value is going to come up. And I think Moose's value is going to come up. It's like you win and then you lose because Moose's value comes up next year as well.
Do you think Freiermuth's value is going to come up to where Kyle Pitts' value is, though? Because Kyle Pitts' value is still up here.
Well, if it is, then not in this league, buddy. You know what I mean? I mean, working within a market. Then
I still want.
If Pitts is trading for this, then
I
he's
still
not
want
that
Pitts
guy in
over
that league.
Freiermuth, regardless.
So you trade for Pitts, you sneak him into your suitcase, bring him over to another league.
That's the thing. I've had Pitts in a league where his value was like before he disappointed anyone, and you couldn't move him. It's useless to bang your head against a wall if that's not true in your league. And if this trade goes through, it ain't true in your league. So you don't want it to work even if it works, if you know what I mean. But that's very me. Everyone who's smart says do it, so there you go. Gavin Ferguson. If Ravens go completely brain dead and don't
Sign.
Using Lamar? Sign Lamar. Okay. I don't know why I'm having trouble. I, of all people, should be able to get that. Right. How great would Lamar in Atlanta be? I think Lamar's going to be great.
Better version of what Mariota's doing right now. I mean, it would work.
I think Lamar is great wherever he is. Although it's nice to have the offensive coordinator who's got an offense designed around him.
But also,
I see what he means, though. You've got Pitts, you've got London, you've got great young receivers that hopefully Lamar could take more advantage of. Yeah.
Like, imagine Pitts, but getting Andrews' usage. The community would explode from it actually happening. Like, the dream, it's coming true right now.
Yep. Mouthful of gold. Got my first Bell as a throw in a Pollard trade. David Bell for Pollard. Got it. 2 mid-late round seconds and Bell for Pollard. You had to...
You
traded Pollard for Bell at 2 seconds? That's solid. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, I like that a lot. Anyone got any idea what's going on with David Bell? Is he just not good enough? Which is possible.
He's not out there a lot.
I haven't seen him. I haven't really seen him, so we don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a good sign, but
no, it is not.
Hope you're feeling better, Russ. If not, at least your Camry fuzziness looks better.
On and on. Still. I spent like an hour Googling it, and the only way I found that actually works to fix this is to take the camera apart and readjust the lens.
Really? Wow.
It's an effing Logitech. It shouldn't be that. Like,
we could.
I was gonna say mine's a Logitech. It's nowhere near that fancy. If you took it apart, you break it.
We could go blurry background to solidarity.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my god! I wonder if it would go clear if I blurred the background.
I've forgotten how to do that. Forget it. Higbee takes over as target leader, or does Stafford finally invite? No. I think Higbee's the only potential fantasy relevant player from here on. Higbee can receive a slight boost with.
Don't you think?
With
had to beat you to it.
With Kupp gone, but also he's already got like a top 12 share at the position. So, but honestly, man, sell all Rams. I mean, hopefully Higbee can keep it up, but I don't believe in Robinson or who was it that got the big target? Ben
Skowronek.
Yes. No, thanks. Michael Cole, 12 teams who flex tight end premium, start 10. Give CMC, get DJ Moore and DJ. I don't know why I do that. Give CMC and DJ Moore, get Higgins, Ridley, and a 24 first.
I like that.
I love this guy.
Of course you would.
Getting Higgins and Ridley? I mean, go. Yeah. I don't care what you're giving. Go do it.
Yeah, CMC's... I want CMC. But
CMC...
it's a Higgins site. You've already got me to say what you
honestly,
want.
The value is probably
salt in
fair.
But yeah, it's a pretty even trade. The way I build. So Michael, you got to take this with a grain of salt. And Russ does kind of similar to what I do, although he trades a lot more. So his teams tend to have more running backs at certain points. But the way I build is usually through wide receivers. So I really like this. Although I will say Christian McCaffrey is one of the very few difference-making running backs.
Michael Cole, 12 teams who flex tight end premium. Now I want to ask about Elijah Mitchell last week. Anyone got feelings about it?
He looked good.
He did. And like he's one of the potential breakouts this year. Got injured, so I was hopeful. But like CMC's a guy, but then the usage is very weird last week.
And then, Shanahan came out after the fact and said that he wants their usage to be equal. It's really funny because I didn't watch that game when it happened. I watched, I love the NFL Plus condensed games. Like I sit there working and I have it going on, and they're like, I could watch the entire week in a work day. And it was really funny that before I was able to watch the Niners game, I was listening, watching chats of people complaining about his usage. And then the first 5 plays were runs for McCaffrey. And I'm just like, what are you guys complaining about again? And then the game went on, and they ran Mitchell. But the thing is, Mitchell looked good every time he had the ball.
Yeah,
and while it's the one line of thinking you just gave up almost your entire draft for Christian McCaffrey, you should be using him. Well, they gave up their entire draft. Let him live for more than half a season. Like,
he's also 27, and they've also got, hopefully, they think maybe a better quarterback next year. So
so I don't think they want to give him 40 touches a game. I mean, I guess you got to hope he runs, passes, and throws for a touchdown every single game.
Well, but I was going to say, the 49ers are just going to be the all-run team next year with Lance, McCaffrey, Debo, and Elijah Mitchell. Poor Ayuk, man.
But even with the Elijah Mitchell coming in and getting the 18 carries, like McCaffrey still got 20 touches.
Oh yeah,
like he still had 6 targets. He had 14 carries. He didn't do much with his carries. And I think that's the frustration.
Right up the middle.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, it did not seem like a good game plan. I love that Debo still got 4 carries, though. I didn't think he would, but I was good. That's one of the only reasons I accepted that trade. Like, I felt okay about it, I should say, is because seeing Debo still get those 4 carries, and one of them was inside the 20. So made me feel a little bit better about Debo's usage.
I think that's part of how we think about volume a little weird. We want to condense it into positional volume and think about it simply. But, I mean, if you're going to run with Debo, that's not taking away a run from a running back. That's just a run they plan to give to Debo. That's a Debo run. It didn't come from anywhere else.
I made the absolute generalization. Oh, Chris McCaffrey's back. Well, why bother putting anyone else in the backfield? Oh, now they have Elijah Mitchell back. They're definitely not putting anyone else in the backfield. And then they still did it.
Yeah.
It was...
No, I felt the same way. I didn't really know what to make of it. But then after the game, I was like, it's a little bit more like targets. Like, those are Debo runs, not...
Yeah. Absolutely, 1,000%, absolutely. It was definitely the quick, not thinking, small-brained, oh no thing. Yeah.
It was good to be educated by Kyle Shanahan. It was fun. Give Lamar and A-Rob, get Fields and Marcus. I'm going to say Marcus Brown. And a 23
I don't think there's Lamar Brown, so I would do this. Very, very easily, I would do this.
It's got Marcus Brown on it. It's got Fields on it. Me and Russ are immediately on board. Zach.
And then there's 23 first, and now
I like on board. I mean, I like it. You get Fields, you get Brown, who's a tier up from A-Rob by quite a sight, in the 23 first. I think that's a great trade, Michael.
London versus a 24 first and 24 second. It's London, right? We're not that low on London yet.
Yeah, I'd hang on to London at this point.
I think the value's fine. I just don't think it's worth doing it.
Yeah. I mean, why wait 2 more years? You've already
have the young wide receiver.
Yeah.
Eric, 8-team Superflex PPR, start 12. He has Najee and tried shot. Yeah, no one's going to buy Najee for something decent. And there was 0 interest at his price of a first plus something extra.
Wow.
People hate Najee Harris. Even if he does well again, they won't like him. They're just really angry at Najee Harris. The rest of the team, it's all the coaching and the quarterback's fault. But Najee Harris, that's all him.
Peter, I blame your ilk. This is all of the spreadsheet jockeys saying Najee Harris is inefficient.
I fought him all last season, and I fought him that by week 6 they were calling him bad in his rookie year. And it's big brain thinking. I can tell who's good based on stats that continually prove not to define who's good.
Before you go on, Peter, my favorite line I think that I've ever heard you utter was on the pod this week. Don't yards per carry me, bro. I laughed out loud.
I'm telling you, at least once per show, something comes out of Peter's mouth.
Don't yards per carry me, bro.
Don't yards per carry me, bro.
If I could up the per capita, I might actually get somewhere with this. Like I need 2 moments a show, and then people might like me. But no, yeah, if I just keep talking long enough, I tend to come up with a good one. Thank you guys. Did we answer this? Yeah. No, we didn't, because it's not really a question. His value is that low, and unfortunately, I think he's going to stay there even when he's producing. So unless you're in a full rebuild, like I need anything to do something with, then you just hold Najee Harris. And if you're on a full rebuild, then you start thinking first value. So can I get Rondell Moore in a second?
But what you do is wait a week, because they play the Bengals, and that won't go well for Najee. Then you say, for the rest of the season, they get the Colts, Falcons, Ravens, Panthers, Raiders, and Ravens again. None of them are top half in run defense. So, yes, the Steelers are bad. Yes, Najee is not doing great. But he is going to be solid down the stretch. He won't lose you any games. Maybe he scores a touchdown or two and wins you a game. Like, that should be able to get you a first. Because next year, that line can't get worse. Like,
no, that's the thing.
It can't.
I think you're holding. I mean, it always can, actually. It could be the Trent Richardson arc here.
Yeah, that was more of like a please don't let it happen.
I would say that if you've got a trade deadline, that likely puts you past your trade deadline, and that's okay. You're in a holding pattern. Selling them now would be a bad idea. If it's past your trading deadline, then that's what it is. And yeah, like just sit there and what's that meme where the guy sits on his own brain? I don't know, just be that guy. I know he's good. He'll be good again, and just keep the faith until you get crushed. Dynasty sucks. Devon, 12-team Superflex start 9, half-point PPR. What is proper value for Diggs these days? Strongly depends who you're trading him to, I would say. First and player like Treylon.
This sounds like he's trying to trade for Diggs.
I would gladly send a first and Treylon for Diggs, almost regardless of what that first was. Almost.
Yeah, if you're trying to trade for Diggs, it's a good time to trade for Diggs. Because he is older and dynasty players suck. Yeah, I think you got the value. If you offered someone Treylon Burks in a first, as long as they're not they don't hate Treylon and they think there's still hope, then they're probably interested in that. Yeah. You got a generic value? 2 firsts? That's what we say Cooper Kupp and Debo are worth, though. So Diggs is probably a little above that.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Yeah, probably.
No, that's perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Matty. Apparently, every team in my league is not willing to trade a top 12 QB because they're cornerstone QBs. So damn frustrating. Can get that way, man. Seriously, shifting your league from a place they don't want to trade to a place they do want to trade, I only see masters accomplish it, basically.
So, Matty, the answer to that is figure out what your QBs are worth in that league. If quarterback value is sky high, use that to your advantage.
Is this a super flex? He hasn't said.
I
would say there are meant to be a few good quarterbacks in this draft class. Yep. Don't know anything about this class.
Yep.
And if you know that about your league, write it down. Notebook, Leo Segura, whatever. However you say his damn name.
Dolchich.
Segura. Thank you. And know that. Like, overvalue rookie quarterbacks a little bit because you know your league does that. It is frustrating, but take what you can out of it, Josh, 14-team Superflex, win now. Get Dak and CD. I like that. Give 3 firsts. Superflex, yeah.
Yep.
Estimated mid, late.
Oh, yeah.
And a second better. And a 24 first.
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean,
heavy there.
Yeah, I think I
who
probably
cares
would
about
do
it
it.
second at that point. You're giving 2 firsts for each of them, which is something you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
It's not bad.
I don't mind it, especially in a 14 team. You get the quarterback, you get the young wide receiver who's finally done what Peters said he's going to do for the last however long.
I do like to stand on the few hills I've got, don't I? Thank you.
I mean,
well pointed out,
I love CeeDee Lamb too. He's good.
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Like, this was about the value before we got this far into the season. Aren't first meant to go up in value a little bit? The 4 first sounds too high. Like, we're getting closer to the draft. I get that they're mid, and late. But people are meant to be getting hyped on the draft. Don't need to get more.
Well, no, so we're
like
not there yet.
This
is panic time right now. This isn't draft pick time. This is panic time because you're looking at the playoffs.
We've got to sketch out a schedule with these timelines at some point. I actually think that would be interesting. Yeah, I would do that trade. This is you're getting boats trading maybe a boats. It does seem like there's one extra in there, but I'm fine with that. Gavin, you think Buffalo makes a move at running back? I mean, they don't care about running back. They'll draft another good, decent one maybe, or add one in a trade. They've Singletary, Zach Moss type. And
they've got 4 of the same guy already in the backfield.
Yeah,
like they do it.
And another one. Why not?
They get Cook.
It still won't matter.
Yeah. They got Cook. They got Singletary. They traded for Nyheim Hines. They have Justin Duke Johnson.
Do they?
Yeah, it's wild. I think I tweeted that out.
They do want a receiving back. I don't know why they have a hard time finding one. Everyone else seems to pick one up as an undrafted free agent, but they do want a receiving back. Is there a concern, at some point you're like, maybe our star quarterback shouldn't rush so much? That's the only thing I can think of. But no, I'm not interested in the Buffalo running back position.
I don't
overly.
think.
And yeah, they'll probably sign someone.
Rush less.
Or draft someone. No, I and again, to be fair, Moss and Singletary have spurts of being great because they're good running backs and a great offense, but it's never going to be like Josh Allen is there. And as long as Josh Allen's there, and if he's not, the team isn't as good. So, yeah. I think I'm lagging because everything's taking a second to load. Sorry about that. Thank you. That's the first. Maddie, tied for first currently, need a QB2 words because he has Heineke and Wentz. You do need a quarterback. Who should I look to get and who doesn't cost too much? Quarterbacks to trade for at a reasonable value. Who you got?
If you're looking for someone who's not going to cost much,
the bottom
Dak
of the barrel
isn't the answer.
Yeah, Dak's too high. Honestly, Matt Ryan's a trade up from what you've got right now.
Yeah, especially now that no one's going to want or trust him. I mean, Mariota's not doing great, but again, he won't cost you much. 18 points per game in trade addict scoring. That's nothing to, stick your nose up at.
Is there any interest in Mac Jones at this point? Because he's at least young. He's valued around there because what the hell is going on? But he's at least not just.
I would rather go get Jimmy Garoppolo.
No? Okay.
I'd rather go find those guys. I feel better about them scoring this season and just spend less on it.
No, I think that's fair. I just kind of wanted to throw it out. Outside of that, Daniel Jones seems to be carrying some value, and he's not that far off Wentz right now, so I wouldn't do that. Trevor Lawrence, no, too high valued, even if his points per game aren't there. Russell
Daniel
Wilson?
Jones.
Okay. Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah.
I mean, the last few games where he played the full games, 22, 15, 14, and then 22 this past week.
I wonder what does it cost to go get Tom Brady right now? because you're in the last year of his probably career.
He's also on a bye this week, which is a little rough.
I mean, but we're looking at we're already tied for first. We're looking at a playoff.
Shouldn't cost more than a second, especially now.
Yeah, so that might be something that I would do because I think he's going to put up points. But
yeah, I think Matt Ryan, Brady, maybe Tannehill is probably the best. And Mariota isn't a bad suggestion, I guess, for the same kind of thing anyway. Those are the cheap quarterbacks you can go get that are pretty reasonable and would do the job. They're not great. I don't want to add them in Dynasty, but they're not your winning thing. You just want a quarterback too. So, nice to have you back, Zach, says Gavin. Not me. I wouldn't say such a thing.
Oh,
but wow. Gavin finds it.
If it was coming from you, Peter, I would ignore it. But Gavin, I thank you. I appreciate
exactly.
it.
That's why I clarified. That's why I clarified. I didn't want you to ignore Gavin. Would you send too late first? No, 2 is too much. Oh, it's too late. No, 2 too much, right?
I mean, I'm thinking you get someone not too different from Drake London.
Okay.
Oh, really? Get someone better?
I mean, I might take a shot with 2 firsts.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, we're both on the side of the person.
Okay. No, I'm saying in the 110 to 112, you could in one of those picks get someone, if anything, just valued what Drake London will be valued at.
But 2 of them, yeah.
So let's just like hypothetically, real quick, go if it's a super flex, right? You've got Bijan Robinson. You've probably got CJ Stroud. You may have another quarterback up there, like Bryce Young.
One will be up there.
Yeah. So Young and Stroud are there.
Yeah.
Then you've got Gibbs. Let's just say we're going running back centric. Gibbs. So now you're at 4. You still haven't even talked about a wide receiver yet, like at all. So like, I really think you've got Zach Evans is another running back that's going to be right up there. You've got Addison, you've got Quentin Johnson, you've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, you've got Josh Downs, you've got Kayshon Boutte. Now we're already at 10. Like, I would rather have the picks.
JSN, where's he going, do you think? Mid, late, early?
Probably later because he hasn't played much.
That's what I was wondering, because his stats were already jumping off when I wasn't trying to find out. So
I mean, everything from the few people that are Devi-wise that I talk to, it still seems he's going to be around the 4 or 5 as of right now.
What's that other guy?
Like Boutte, 4 or 5 overall?
In the rookie draft, yeah. Bijan, quarterbacks, Gibbs, and then
Jordan Addison, Boutte,
or
Smith and Jigba, Josh Downs. Like this is this. I know, Peter, that we've been saying this, and you want to push back and say it's not a good. This class,
I'm good.
Looks like a good class. Just because you have multiple good players at each position, which is fun. It's not going to be. I heard your show. Like, it's not going to be like the 2017 running back class.
No, that's.
But it's a deep class.
Well, no, I think it's really interesting. I was just was that the last video? The one I'm editing. I'm so lost in the content right now. But I think what's happening right now is like the 2008 and 2017 class kind of overlapped. And that's what we were expecting. And what you have instead is a 2017 came after a gap, this little girly gap.
Yeah.
And now everyone thinks there's a new trend when really it's just history doesn't repeat, but you can learn from the patterns. And it's just 23 can be great, but we're still off this main branch, if you know what I mean. But anyway, sorry, I'm lost in the sauce.
I like the girly gap. That made
I
me
like
laugh
that one.
Also. Yeah.
I thought it was funny. No one else has laughed, though. Just me and you, Zach.
I smiled.
It was a pity smile. I saw it.
Yes, but I smiled. That's all I cared.
You were always smiling. Such a happy-go-lucky chap. Kittle for a late first. I think that's...
Fair enough.
Kittle is worth that, but not that. It's like that, but not that. That's, if you know what I mean.
I would.
If you had Goddard and you were competing,
that's
I would send my first for Kittle.
Yeah.
But I would rather package something else to get Kittle.
That's the thing when we only have this 1-2 binary system. It is or it isn't a first, but there is a. Yeah, I would try and get that value without sending the. But it's fine. It's honestly, if Kittle's if that tight end is what you need to win, then yeah, it's fine. Like I said before, he's the one I'm interested that's falling into that value range. Do you think Marcus Brown will be back for Monday night's game?
This
Haven't
week?
put any thought into it. I'd be surprised.
No, I just heard that he was starting to come back. I don't think he's back this week.
Yeah, I think
Tyler
we're
back
a
this
fair
week?
way off. I don't even know, but I don't think Brown is either way. Does anyone on DLF do detailed league critiques in the off season? Like if we sent you a sleeper ID, would you? I know people who do that. Actually, I don't know anyone on DLF specifically, but I'm sure all of us are pretty thirsty to be listened to. So yeah, we'll probably all do it. If you're looking for someone that
on Twitter at Dynasty Roast, like there's, groups of that like they have a site you go to, you submit and everything, and they'll make fun of your league. They're really good guys too. So they're not DLF, but they'll do it. That's their jam.
Them, so don't do that. They haven't made themselves known to me. I don't care. I would
so
say
what I'm hearing is that's our cash cow. Is what we can start doing that.
I would happily do this, to be honest with you, especially if I had someone else, because I need to bounce ideas off. That's why I do this kind of thing.
No, it would be.
I would say I know Dave Wright at FF_Spaceman. I know he's done this consistently every off season. He does like league reviews and does in-depth text. The reason I mention it is because Dave is a really solid guy. Does a lot of Dynasty work for free, collecting data for everyone, kind of like what I do. Is a little undernoticed, and I know he does this exact thing, and he's really good at it. So I might hit him up. He's got a podcast tailored to rivals as well. I don't think he's with DLF anymore. I think he was for a minute, but it doesn't matter. Dave's the bomb, so that's who I would suggest.
Waddle.
I didn't even get to look, but I'm just like, yep.
Sorry.
The answer to almost every question is in fact Dylan Waddle. And Eric, that's not a joke. Like, it's Waddle's side. Zach just didn't even let me read it because he's like, Jay Casp, in a rebuild, would you trade Deontay Johnson for Kupp? No, there's nothing in it that I want in a rebuild. That's a
so. Well, I would rather have Kupp because I think you can get more for Kupp than you can for Deontay Johnson.
But if
I do,
okay.
You have to be patient for this one because you have to wait until next season when he starts scoring points again before you're going to be able to do anything with him.
The good news is Deontay Johnson isn't going to be scoring points until next season either, so you won't feel as bad. No, I'm just kidding. He's like seen the most targets of anybody in the NFL. It's just Kenny Pickett. Biggest thing.
I think Deontay can get you a player I'd rather make that play with. But yeah, I get the idea. I was just wondering about Marcus Brown, slightly younger. It's the same kind of play. But more people are going to like Kupp. Yeah, this is fine. It's fine. There you go. Maddie, JCast, do you immediately and then wait until next season and flip Kupp for more value? That's the idea, but to be fair, it's really easy to say that, but it's about how your league trades and how you trade and if you can execute. And I can't, which is why I'm constantly on the lower end of this kind of a move, like I just was with the last question. Because I found myself holding the bag a lot because you really have to be able to read your league, know your league is going to trade, know you're going to be able to get something done. But yeah, that's a general theme. The other part is it works if Kupp comes back and starts scoring points. And that's the thing. I'm not sure how soon that's going to be. And by then you might be into the mid to late next season and it's really harder to trade Kupp. So it's an easy thing to say. That's why I keep coming out lower on this kind of move than both of my smarter co-hosts, because I'm a little more sluggish when it comes to trades. And so I just want to point that out. That's the idea.
You should listen to the Trade Addicts pod.
Yeah, I should probably start listening to them. Who's on there?
I don't know, but that's what
Gavin.
I did.
Any predictions with Trey McBride taking over for Ertz?
Yeah, Rondale Moore is going to be really good. So is DeAndre Hopkins.
I still have hope for Trey McBride. Tight ends develop slow, all the usual excuses, but this has not been positive. Even for a tight end, I would have expected him to get on the field. But the only thing I can come up with is there's literally nothing to be positive or negative. So, like, we haven't seen him struggle. We've seen him struggle to get on the field. That's why it's largely negative.
But so to me, I think, though, if you look at what the Cardinals have done since DeAndre Hopkins came back and since Rondale Moore came back, so the first 5-6 weeks of the season, Ertz saw 4 targets, 11 targets, 10 targets, 6 targets, 10 targets, 10 targets. Rondale Moore came back. DeAndre Hopkins came back. 4 targets, 5 targets, 8 targets, and then he got hurt. Like, it declined quite a bit because you had better players. It's the
you
Peter
got Hopkins.
targets are earned, and so to think that Trey McBride is going to come in and be better than what Ertz was and start to earn those targets back, I think you're looking in the wrong direction. As much as I like Trey McBride.
I would say this bleeds into the prediction side. Hopkins is 30. Ertz is already hurt, and he's up there in age as well. Rondale Moore is young, but he's not Hopkins. I mean, there's room. There's room in the future, and there's not been any. He hasn't, apart from not being on the field, he hasn't done anything bad yet. Right. So there's not a lot to evaluate. Yeah.
The Cardinals have seemed to always want to use a tight end. Like, do we remember like 3 years ago when Dan Arnold was a thing for a while? So. Yeah, Zach Ertz is good, and he was getting the ball a lot, but also, just like Zach said, better players were getting on the field. But
I would say that there's a difficult balance. Like, we used to say this about Dallas Goedert, and my whole argument was if Goedert's good, he doesn't need Ertz to leave, and he didn't. They just both did well together. That can happen at tight end as well, bizarrely. Yeah. And so you kind of got to walk doing that.
It happened with Ertz, too. Yeah, when Ertz was young, they had not Kelsey. Was it Kelsey? No, it was one of the other brothers, right?
I can't remember his name.
The tight end
that shared the field with another tight end for a minute.
In front of Ertz. Hooper. Selleck,
Brent Selleck.
Selleck's in the league. I can't remember which was the tight end in Philly, but there was 2 of them. His brother played in the league also.
So it's kind of peering through a murky glass, trying to read tea leaves, to be honest with you. Like, it's easy to make a prediction, then if it comes right, you just say, I knew it. I'm a genius. Follow and give me money. And that's what half our space would do. Or say he's terrible and do the same thing. I'm telling you, there's nothing right now that can really predict it. And so I'll rely on the rookie profile and keep hoping to see him do better. So he's a hold. Like, I would love to say, go get Trey McBride because this is going to happen. I'll add him if he's dropping in value because I still like that rookie profile. But it's not, there's nothing tea leafy enough that would make me say, definitely trade a second for him. I'm more looking to add him if I can as a side piece because I like his rookie profile, but there are plenty that fail. And that's why I was mentioning Deluch. I'll say his name right once. I had him ranked really high this year, and likely as a tight end, and both of them have at least shown something. And that's what I mean about this is disappointing for McBride. I mean, not getting on the field is easier to say we just don't know, but good players tend to make some noise a lot earlier than we think. Normally, on average, everyone knows the Adams career arc. Or who was I looking? I was looking at this running back. Mark Andrews just looks like such a bizarre career path. Because he does nothing and then just jumps into the top 12 immediately because of the split he was enjoying earlier in his career. He's like the Devontae Adams. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm off in the weeds now.
I mean, Devontae Adams felt like being historically bad before he started being insanely good. Like, Mark Andrews was the tight end 4 in a 4 tight end system, so it just took him a little bit.
Joe Chung, traded Gerald Everett in a second for a third and Pat Peremuth. I like that a lot.
Yes,
Zach says we're idiots, but he's bored, so ignore him.
No, that's a win. Kyle Pitts is different than Gerald Everett, Peter. I understand that you are madly in love with Freiermuth because he had like an above average season for a rookie tight end, but he's still an average tight end. But he's better than Everett, and I like that trade.
Yeah. We knew. Matthew Swan, rebuilding 10-team Superflex half-point PPR. Been trying to move Mike Williams. Good luck. And Lazard. Definitely not now. I mean, that was a good move to be trying to make the last few weeks, but not now. With no luck, as I don't need the points. Bateman is a target, but curious on others. Bateman's a good one. Here's the thing. He's held at a... Like, I can rant and rave about everyone. No one realizes, but I keep going looking at my ranks to see if I'm finally the highest on Bateman, and I am not. No. He's like wide receiver 22 by consensus. Like, everyone kind of knows. They just don't make content. Like
everyone's waiting for the Bateman breakout because everyone predicted it for the last 2 years.
Exactly. No. Hey. Crowbar separation here. I literally told you there was going to be a dip. But anyway. Bateman's interesting. Is there anyone that fits that mold that you might actually find that value on? That's what he's asking. Who is the actual quote-unquote sleeper? Because Bateman is hard to trade for despite how everyone says he's bad now. Does anyone have a sleeper? I don't. I think sleepers suck. I have avoided having sleepers. I guess.
I also think sleeper sucks.
If you can't get Bateman and Lazard just got worse. Switch positions, honestly, is normally the answer. And the positions I always like to go to are tight end and quarterback because you can find a little bit of undervaluedness. Can you improve to the top 5 quarterback? Can you get, not Pat Freiermuth, I wasn't going to say it, but can you get TJ Hawkinson? Dallas got it if you really don't want the points. He'll be back next year.
What about Jameson Williams? If you're not worried about the points.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that.
That's a good name.
You're not worried about the points. His value is going to come up, but right now it's still.
I wonder if
that's a really good name. I like that idea a lot. But we may have answered this earlier. We were just saying Rondell Moore is a little disrespect. Is he the guy?
Maybe.
I would consider him close to Bateman in terms of my closeness to my heart. Like, I like both a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're, CeeDee Lamb or Jalen Waddle. And Moore might be slept on in your league, so you could get a trade like that done. Yeah. Or Jameson Williams is a really good target as well. Gavin Ferguson, is Schultz the new tight end 3 going forward with Goddard and Ertz going down? No.
I mean, like, for this year?
I don't think so.
I think
going forward from here. You probably shouldn't want the tight end 3. Because there is no tight end 3. There's a tight end 1 and 2, and then there's about 5 players.
Right.
And Goddard was the lead of the pack, but I mean, it was the same thing. Higbee's in that conversation, to be fair. We were just talking about him.
Hawkinson is in that conversation.
Hawkinson. I think I'd go Hawkinson. Yeah. Kittle was the only one that's really attempting value, as we've mentioned today. Or for me personally, and only me, everyone else hates him, Pat Freiermuth. I like
hate.
Pat Freiermuth is the greatest player in the history of the NFL. You heard it here first.
I have paid attention to the popular content creators. This is how you do it. You pretend what everyone else's point is, and then you take out their point and say that you're the only one saying it. I have learned my lesson. I will no longer try and be fair. I'm going to straw man everyone else in the world. But I think Hawkinson. Yeah, Hawkinson's probably my answer. Wow, it was Zach's answer, and I'm stealing it. Yeah, that was.
Did we just skip Miloshka?
Did we? Sorry, Lance, the 102, the 103 to 5 for Josh Allen. So too high first, and Lance for Josh Allen. Whew. That's heavy, but
I would still do it.
If you still have assets to build with after that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
the thing.
Yeah.
If you say I'm in a rebuild and you don't have anything after you get Josh Allen, you're still in a rebuild, and that's
Like,
not
you
where
just
you want to
then
be.
have to
if you do this
sell.
trade
Then
and
you just have to
wait for
trade
your
Josh Allen.
2025 picks to come in.
Yeah.
You don't do this.
Yeah.
But like, if you still have like a later first or two, and maybe a 24, a few 24 firsts, I do that real fast.
Like, if you've actually got a pretty good team, you're just not competitive this year or whatever, then yes, you can go get Josh Allen.
Because also,
but assuming one of those picks is yours, probably not.
at any given time, you can trade Josh Allen for this.
That's
Yeah.
It's kind of
So
why I like
it's not
trading
even
into
something
those
you need
two.
to worry about.
It's like you can always break them apart. There's never not going to be someone interested. The fun, and it is fun. Like as soon as I recognized it and changed it this offseason for myself, I like the industry. Dynasty is so full of nerds. Like, we represent ourselves as a minority and we're the majority very easily. Once you notice that, you can't stop noticing it, by the way. But we were so out on Josh Allen, and like just admitting that you're wrong and realizing that the people who made bad arguments for him, and it's okay to just accept they got it right with the wrong process. There's so many nerds in Dynasty, you will find values on Josh Allen. Like, he's still the quarterback 2 by consensus in ranks. He's been the quarterback 1 by points 2 years in a row. Like, it's fun. It's kind of fun. Sorry, I still like that. Gavin Ferguson. I guess I'd probably go Muth, but that might be biased.
Boom.
Everyone else hates it.
It's very biased for Peter also.
Straw manning. I'm telling you, it's the way forward. Dustin, 10-team Superflex PPR. Rebuilding. I have 523 first. 4 of which are top 5. Guaranteed. Wow, the 1 and 2. Well, you're good then, Dustin. You have already done built. Just go ahead and draft.
Oh, dang. Keep going.
Would you trade 3 firsts and a second for Mahomes?
Yep.
Depends which of those firsts. I'm going to try and keep some and a couple of those top 5. But
thing.
yeah, I mean.
Okay, I want to pull. Hold on, I need to pull up ADP. No, I can't pull up ADP because it's not there yet. All right, so I want to.
How about you do that? Sorry, I thought you needed some time.
No. I just changed my mind of what I was doing. I'm in the Superflex mock draft for November's ADP, and it's not. It's a very small sample size, and it got a little weird. But like, I want to run through this draft, and you tell me where Bijan slides in. So clearly, we do. Because Mahomes went 101 over Josh Allen, who went 102, by the way. I took Josh Allen at 2. So here we go. Mahomes, Allen, just like screen Bijan when you get there. Ignoring the 6. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, Lamar. Someone took Austin Eckler at 106. Ignore that.
No, ignore Eckler, but yeah.
Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Tua.
Ooh, that's too high.
Bijan.
Yeah, he's around in there. Yeah.
109, 110. What does it take to get from the 109 and 110 to the 101? The first and change. So if you're giving up the 101.
Throw all 4 of your 24 first at him.
Honestly,
he doesn't have to. don't tell him to up the trade. Well, this is good, but give him more instead.
Especially because you're rebuilding, and you're like trading the 101 is absolutely the right move when the 101 is going to be a startup first rounder. So, like, use the 101 to try and go get Mahomes and see if you could do it without giving up that 102. Like, see if you can do like the 101, 105, and a 24 first.
I think
that should value-wise be more than enough.
That's going to be wild because then you end up saving that. You get the QB1 basically.
Yes, keeping the 102. You get to choose which QB you like more.
Yeah, that's wild.
But like next year, would you rather have
the 2 and 3?
Next year, would you rather have Mahomes and the QB1 from this class, or would you rather have, I don't know, a good quarterback and Bijan? Or better yet, would you rather have Mahomes and Bijan by trading everything but that first?
if I'm still rebuilding, just give me the quarterbacks. I know Bijan is Bijan, but I'm just going to end up trading him anyway. I might as well use him to get one of the best quarterbacks in a super flex league.
Yeah, and keep the other picks.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
you keep the others, you give the 1-on-1.
I would see how many of those 24 firsts it takes, because I think you could. This is a class that you can reload.
That's where my mind's at. Like, I want to keep some of these players. You know,
that if Bijan was not in this class, the 23 and 24 classes would be equal.
Okay.
Just so, like, next year might also be that kind of year. So I like the idea of spreading out a bit. I'm
letting the people who know anything about this class argue this one out. I don't know. I think it's interesting, but I don't know him enough. And he left, so that's cool. You want to override him while he's gone or anything, Zach? I'm not going to put up a fight. So. I mean, you've got Herbert. Try Trevor Lawrence in some of those first, you know?
Yeah.
That's my only other thought.
Or don't go after Mahomes and go after whichever one is you can get between
Josh Allen.
Allen, Lamar Jackson, Fields, whatever one of those you can get for less.
I do like coffee.
Hurts.
I like the idea that you're trying to get that second quarterback, and if you're trying to do that, like Lawrence is a piece to move, because if you've got Herbert and Burrow, Herbert and Allen, Herbert and Mahomes, like you don't care about Lawrence anymore. Right. So I might try and put him in the value pool to try and move up to. Order 66. Is Hawkinson worth a late? It's the same thing what we said for Hawkinson. Like, yes, you're trying to package, but that's okay, right?
Yeah, and especially with the premium, he's one of the few tight ends that sees a bunch of targets, and so yeah, he is worth that. I'd rather
package to
put together. Yeah,
fully on board. The only tight end, I mean, there's only 2 tight ends where you include a first straight up and are pretty happy with it, and outside of that, you're mostly trying to package. Should I otherwise just use the picks to this is Dustin again. So we talked about this one ad nauseum. I think I used that right. Is anyone still starting Russell Wilson? I have to start him in the Scott Fish Bowl a lot, and I hate it.
I'm starting Matt Ryan over him this week in one of my leagues,
and that's perfectly fair. That's where we're at. What do we do with guys like Dillon, Gibson, or Mooney? Hold Mooney.
Hold Dillon too.
Oh, really?
Well, you don't think AJ Dillon will be worth more next year, depending on Aaron Jones, like that sort of thing? Gibson is one that I would trade. I would hold Dillon because I think you're going to get more for him next year. There's going to be hype. There's going to be Dillon is going to take over the backfield in Green Bay next year. Like
Aaron Jones is done. He's old.
Yeah, there'll be that hype.
See it.
There was this past year. So that Gibson, man,
I was guilty of it a little bit, despite clearly saying that Aaron Jones is going to be the guy. I just kind of like where Gibson was at in his career, but
he does have very big thighs.
Thighs McGee, man. Yeah, he's awesome. I like Holden Mooney too, and you're probably going to get more for Dillon at some point if there's a hype train. So yeah. I have very early and late first. Same for my seconds. Thanks, fellas. You're welcome. I don't think I missed your question.
No, this was the 12-team Superflex tight end premium rebuild. I have Hurts and Dak. Receivers are Waddle, DK,
we went through
Pickens.
Though, right?
Yep. Do I sell Monty? Yeah. Yep.
What's up, guys? What should we be doing with Najee? We went through this with someone else as well. I think you're strongly holding. Like I wouldn't trade him for what he's worth right now. He's young enough. I'm not gonna just trade him for whatever. Although we did mention that if you're full rebuilding, you just kind of get what you can for players because they're more risky than picks. But
as a non-contender, I'm trying to trade him after he just had 99 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And see if I can use him to get a young wide receiver, because again, he's right in this. Najee Harris is right in the window of when I sell running backs. Year 2, year 3.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
because they hold their value and they lose their value quickly. I mean, it was what you were talking about on your show this week, Peter. Is it's they're there until they're not, and so
straight off the cliff.
Yeah, and so I'd rather be out early on a running back and get a wide receiver that so I always use the term young, proven wide receivers. And when we go through this, we're talking obviously Chase and Jefferson, but they're that top tier. But we're also talking about Higgins. We're talking about Waddle. We're talking about
we say Waddle instantly.
Yeah.
Whenever
young, proven wide receivers. And so AJ Brown falls in that. Like, those are the type of players. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Those are the type of players that I want to tier up with Najee Harris if I'm a non-contender right now. And even if I'm
have
a
any
contender,
targets?
I just gave those are my targets.
And you have to add to get,
and I don't mind adding. Like, that's fine. Yeah. But I don't think
you got to first and Najee and go up there.
Do you think you have to add that much
for Waddle? Yeah.
No. Yes, for Waddle you would, but like some of the other, like Amon-Ra St. Brown and
I missed that. Yeah.
So like they're. I mean, obviously, like there are tiers within that young, proven wide receiver, but like there are still young, proven wide receivers that I think you're not that far off with Najee, especially if you're trading them to a contender. And something like St. Brown has been kind of dinged up. AJ Brown's got an ankle thing right now. Like that, Devontae Smith is another one that would be a nice get. Like, so
okay, I think those are good ideas. I'll just leave it with it. Brandon. Also, I don't know what to do with Damian Harris. Is there anything to do with Damian Harris?
Cry.
Yeah, I mean, you can't trade him for anything.
Yep.
Trade him in your third and try to get a second. I don't know. Like
Lazard Montgomery for 24 first and a 23 third. I mean, yeah. If that's on the table, I would snap it. Yeah.
First, easy,
Phil, one quarterback, 0. Non-PPR. I don't know why they do this to me. Start 9. Sorry, I might have to write this down and really go to town.
We get running back 2 or flex.
Give a first for Ramondre. Would you give a first for Ramondre?
No.
I got offered I'm a competing team, and I got offered Ramondre Stevenson and a late second for my late first, and I couldn't do it.
Does this? Wow, that's a Derrick Henry went for 2 firsts.
Good for them.
So our usual try Alvin Kamara is not going to work in this league. That means running back carries a higher value in your league, so Ramondre might be worth that.
So this is one
Jeff
where
Wilson. You know?
Yeah. That, like Jeff Wilson, Rashad White, like the guys
if they won't move them.
Yep.
Go get the other guys. It depends what teams are on, but hopefully some of those lower tiers have managed to snag a few of those cheaper guys, and I would try them instead before I trade my first for Ramondre.
And the other thing is, if you're looking for a flex, look at a different position. If running backs are overvalued.
Non-PPR, that makes a lot more sense, to be fair.
Oh, go get Gabe Davis.
Fair. I think this value is fair, but I would really try the Jeff Wilson owner. And who are some of those others? those cheaper guys who've literally just started to emerge.
Elijah Mitchell.
Yes. It's a good one.
I mean, it doesn't feel
Patterson.
super safe, but it's not bad.
I mean,
that's what I mean. They're less safe, so they're cheaper. Yeah.
If you're spending less than a first, it doesn't have to be safe.
Most start no. Jamal Williams.
I love Jamal
so much.
I mean, and look, Stevenson's
this is
not
fair.
A bad get.
Try that move first, and then.
But Stevenson's really not a bad get. Like if you throw a late first at Stevenson, and the Patriots continue to run him, and then they decide next year, because you never know what Bill Belichick is going to do, to release Damian Harris and Stevenson is the guy again next year, then spending that late first is a huge win.
So he is also just averaging 16 points a game. So
yeah, he's good.
He's just, and in a non-PPR, it's.
I mean, he's 12th overall. He's RB 12 in standard right now.
I said this earlier today. Like, way too many of my trade answers are, that's fine, but try all these first, and that's what this is.
Yep.
But like, you don't have to reject it. Try some of those others and then accept it. And you can get that done before you had to start your roster this week. If you don't get answers from those other guys, this is fine.
Running back 9 in trade out in points per game.
Brian S. 10 team, 1 quarterback, 1 point PPR. Start 10. I'm going 3 and 7. Going through a retool. I have projected 101, 102, and 104, along with the 201.
You'd probably be done after that.
Yep. What do I do with Jefferson and Taylor? Hold
Why
Jefferson.
Would you trade Jefferson?
Hold. I make that face every time someone asks.
I would trade Taylor, though.
I would trade
Taylor.
Again, but we're talking about for the young proven wide receivers that we just talked about.
Breece Hall, Deontay Williams.
Oh, man, if you could get
those are on the table for Taylor.
A little,
that's interesting. And then you're not trading for more first when you're already pointing out you got all the picks in the world. So
Breece and a 24 first for Jonathan Taylor.
I would love that.
Not
gonna lie,
I would go Taylor and 1 or 2 of my seconds to go get Breece and one of those receivers that I want.
Yeah,
Jonathan Taylor.
I mean, all the moves are on the board. You can go improve at quarterback, go improve in tight end, but those young running backs are really interesting values right now.
Right now, go find the Jamar Chase owner. Jonathan Taylor came off a good game. Matt Ryan is back. You throw Jonathan Taylor and those seconds for the Jamar, and you walk away with Jefferson and Chase, and then
3 top 5 picks.
That made me a little too excited.
At your roster.
I like that.
Welcome to the retool, Brian. Welcome to the retool.
You're fully retooled.
You know, Breece Hall is still running back 20. He's still a top 24.
I mean, it's not quite the Derrick Henry of last year, but that's still pretty impressive.
Yeah, do some of those. Try some of those. But just hold Jefferson. Let's just hold close to your heart too. Tim Shady, what Fields Dynasty QB rank now? I mean, Russ probably just did the best definition we could come up with. I mean, ADP is lagging behind. Keep trade cut is untrustable. That small sample draft that Russ just went through is probably closer to the truth than most dynasty hearts.
He is going to be around where Lance was coming into the season, because this is what we expected Lance to be.
8. I would have him at 8.
Yeah.
I think it's Fields and Tua are kind of
around like that 8-9 area, and you want to put him higher, but like, are you really going to put him in that? Like, it's going to be tough to break that top 6.
Yeah.
Even Russ, maybe 5 now that Kyler just seems to be out of it.
But at 8, I'm excited about it.
Like, I love it. I'm so happy that Fields is doing stuff. Like, honestly, I want him to run a little less, but he doesn't have anyone to pass.
No, I like it. Design runs, beautiful.
Puff pass kick, nice. G.I. Joe. Storm Shadow or
Everyone
Snake
wants
Eyes?
to be the awesome ninja in black in Snake Eyes, but the answer is still Storm Shadow.
No, sleeper. The answer is Jinx, the red female ninja who's the Yeah.
Again,
yeah.
this is the absolute epitome of the. We talked about this on the show last week when you weren't around, and this is why we went so much faster. Peter and I both answer the question in front of us. We're like, this or that one. We will answer this or that one. When Zach's here, it's like that one.
Yeah, but if you're not thinking outside the box, I mean, how are you ever going to get ahead?
By choosing Storm Shadow over Snake Eyes.
I love that Peter asked you if you had
control. I said
control,
no,
and you said no, and he was like, "I'm out."
Yeah, I mean, like seriously, like you're playing with the toys, and you start with Snake Eyes, but the answer always ended up being Storm Shadow at the end. All right, so we're just going to keep going without.
I had a William the Refrigerator Perry GI Joe figure that I had to save. I had to save the UPC codes off the top of like 5,000 cereal boxes and like mail it into a secret address. And
I do box breaks for football cards, and we opened up a box last week, and the autograph in there was was the fridge. I bought it off the person. I'm like, nice. I need this. I'm keeping this. Like, so good. CMC splitting share now as per head coach. Higgins, Ridley plus first winner. This was the old one. Like this is someone answering an older question.
What happens next week when Elijah Mitchell gets nicked up and all of a sudden CMC is not splitting share? Like, or I know this never happens.
That's
what happens if the coach lied?
They do that.
They're allowed to do that? You mean they don't have to come on national television and tell all the other teams exactly what they're planning?
I still think
that's a stretch.
I still think the Higgins Ridley plus a first was the winner, but like I think it's a lot closer than just CMC is splitting shares.
You know? Kevin asks, if you own Andrews, you don't. If you have Andrews on a fantasy roster, to be fair, is sending
don't do
late
that.
Seconds. Fair enough. For likely an overpay.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that's probably
yes. It is an overpay.
Yeah, don't do that. Draft another tight end.
Don't. Yeah,
with your seconds.
Handcuff tight ends.
Yeah.
There you go. Shanahan loves balance.
That is not true at all. Shanahan has been running this out of one running back for the last 6 years until they get hurt, and then he runs the next one. But I mean, that's fine. Like you can do your narrative all you want. Like CMC is still incredible.
If you have to have a running back who is only getting 15 to 18 touches, it might as well be Christian McCaffrey.
This brought to you from the Dynasty Grind. Christian McCaffrey, pretty good. Gavin Ferguson, you all look great, by the way. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Gavin. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Pollard and CMC both have the ability to get points without needing all the target share.
I mean, CMC got 6 targets last week.
CMC's going to get targets, guys.
Yeah.
Targets flow to players. But yeah, I'm torn because I've got no reason to be against Pollard either. Like he's playing his ass off this year as well. Good for him. But Jeff Wilson or Michael Gallup? Middle of the road team.
Scoring point. Are we past the point where we think Michael Gallup's going to be a thing again?
I think so.
I didn't think he was.
Unless you Tyler Boyd it.
Well, he kind of was a thing for a bit.
He was a thing.
Okay, I will.
He was the third wide receiver on the.
And great at it.
Well, no, his rookie year when everyone else got hurt and he was doing pretty well, and then he just kept getting hurt every year since then.
He's one of those low drafted hits. Don't take him away from me, Zach. But yeah, Gallup's not.
Wasn't he like Waldman's wide receiver 1 or something? Sorry, was that a sore point, Peter?
No, I think you're thinking of Combine McGee. who's a guy who was meant to be great, but then never got draft capital, but he had all the combine.
Butler or
Hakeem Butler. Yeah, no. I maybe, I don't know. I don't pay attention to his ranks that well. The points per game is the only value on either side here. If Jeff Wilson's going to have great points per game over the next, so that guy. But if you're a middle of the road team, like you trade for him and then you're trying to trade him away, I guess.
Yeah, I'd rather have Gallup to trade, I think. But
yeah, it's kind of.
I don't want either of them if I'm middle of the road.
Yeah. Caesar, 12-team dynasty, not contending. Trade Cooper Kupp. Price check? Thank you. I feel like this has been every question so far. Got any?
If you're not contending, hold on to him right now.
I think he's more of a hold than a sell. If you're not contending,
it's going to be.
If you're fully rebuilding, it's time to trade them for what you can get.
So league specific.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like we've offered like 17 answers to that one today, though.
But it really comes down to you're going to have to find the right middling team that's willing to do it for next year move.
It's all about what your team looks like and what the teams on the top and bottom of your league look like a little bit. Andrew A. Check CD numbers. Same for 3 straight years. No? This year he has a 30% market share. In my opinion, he is what he is. Last game outlier. I traded him for Toney straight up when Toney traded for KC. The reason I'm pausing here is because I don't understand what numbers you're looking at. Like the whole CD Lamb sucks argument was he only gets a 19% target share, but you'll freely admit you know he's getting a 30% target share. So his numbers aren't the same. And like he was a top 12 wide receiver through the first 6 weeks, and then he dipped a little bit, and last week he started to come back. Like, this doesn't seem to correlate. This doesn't seem to describe what I've seen.
So what you're saying, when he has a healthy, good quarterback.
How dare you besmirch Cooper Rush and the other guy whose name I forgot from last year?
Like, I'm all for a little Toney. I think Toney kicking off would be highly fun.
Danucci last year?
Danucci.
But you can like Toney without literally changing history to talk down another player. And I advise doing that. CeeDee Lamb's good. He's fine. He's not Cooper Kupp. He's not DeAndre Hopkins. It would be fair to say that. But he's a high-hit player. And Toney, I definitely hope to see more from him. But so far, what was that thing you were referencing, by the way, Zach? Because I didn't watch the game, obviously. That 23-yard separation, was it a mistake or just something he pulled off? Like I don't get it.
So what happened was they ran him in motion to the right. They faked the ball to him. Mahomes turned to the left. Everybody else went to the left. Nobody was open. Mahomes turned back around, and there's Kadarius Toney standing there on the right sideline with nobody within 23 yards. And he threw him the ball, and he just kind of minced his way into the end zone.
A happenstance?
Yeah, it had nothing. It had nothing to do with it. Was a combination broken coverage and good play design, and it had nothing to do with Toney.
Because something
all
I'm
hearing is Toney had 20-something yards of separation.
Yeah, 23. It was beautiful.
Something I took from the usage last week was there's a potential that they're scheming a specific, like he wasn't on the field a lot, but when he was on the field, he ran around, kind of a thing.
Right.
That's my hope for Toney is if they build a role for him to exploit his gifts, then it could be electric.
Well,
but I mean, I'm
going to say the dumbest thing ever because it's not really going to equate
Tyreek Hill.
It's what they did for Tyreek Hill.
That's literally what they did for Tyreek Hill, yeah.
But I'm not at all.
Well, they more
shadow of any doubt saying Toney will turn into Tyreek Hill. But all I'm saying is Andy Reid is a good and smart enough coach to do
and that's what I mean.
him.
That's kind of my hope for him, that he can find some way to utilize him. But I mean, it's all hope and feathers right now, but it's possible. Like, I'm trying to walk the line of being very clear that the player's got a lot of upside, and I'm rooting for the player, but, there's a thin path. But he's in the best situation to find it, and it's, Gavin, are you guys still Herbert over Tua? Yes. My thoughts, Tua's weapons are a great point in his favor, to be clear. Better than Herbert's, but they can. Well, Keenan Allen's awesome. Mike Williams, I've probably underrated.
Keenan hasn't played the entire season. Mike Williams has been out for a while, and there's 3 points per game difference between the two of them.
Right.
And the other part of it is Tua's great. His weapons are great. He's valued less, but like, there's somewhere for Herbert to go, and we've already seen him do well with what he has. They can improve Herbert's weapons. Tua can't get better weapons. He's already got the best. You know what I mean?
For them not to increase Herbert's weapons. And like, how do you make the offense in Miami better? I mean, I guess an actual running back, not whatever this Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert thing are, but that doesn't they're doing really
it's a baseball analogy thing. It's like, the only one that I know, Zach, so please teach me more. But it's like, do you take the guy with perfect form or the guy with terrible form if they both have the same stats? These guys both have similar stats, but there's improvement to be made around Herbert that could launch him back into the stratosphere, and so you take the under, But yeah, I don't, again, want to walk the line there. Very excited about Tua. That's awesome. Brian Robinson and Toney for 3:23 seconds.
I'm fine with that.
That's pretty even, I think.
Again, if Toney goes near his upside, you definitely disappointed with this trade.
If any of those are top 3, it's a win on the picks.
Yeah. Rough. Matty, I have Hurts as my QB1 and Heineke, Wentz as my QB2 with Ritter and Trask on bench. Oh, sorry. I remember that story. Is he have the best team in the league? Well, that's good to know. I think this is the guy we were talking about who's looking for a QB2. Yeah. We went through this one before. Again, sorry we get to questions a little late, but we like to talk to everyone, Would you do a late first for Pittman?
I believe I'm there for it.
Wait a second. Wait. I said yes because that's where my instinct went. But just thinking back to what you were saying, and I know you like Pittman a lot. So, is the draft class solid enough? You're willing to trade a good wide receiver for that late first? A wide receiver
I will take away the shot of me taking Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson and just get Michael Pittman. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
I think that's where Pittman's value. Again, I think this is Pittman's value.
Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering because I really don't know those rookies, so I was going back to you guys know more about the guys who might be in that range.
You're not worried though, Russ, that Pittman is now the wide receiver 2 on his team.
He was meant to be behind Paris Campbell, so it's fun.
Absolutely.
You've got to love Paris Campbell hurting Pittman. That must be so conflicting for you. I would say, wasn't it like a 35-yard slant route?
You mean what Paris Campbell does?
What Paris Campbell does?
Yes. Yeah. It was exactly what Paris Campbell does, Peter.
They were equal in... No, I was trying to... they were equal in targets and target share, and it's just Pittman managed to break that long. That's what made him look like the better wide receiver last week. But fine, I wouldn't try and defend Pittman. Don't worry, I'll call him trash from now on. If you want me to, it's fine. Matty, I have guys like Gabe Davis, Mooney, who rot on my bench every week just because of my depth. But no one wants to give up a QB, which is why I asked that. That's understandable.
This has to be super flex, right?
Maddie's the one that was asking about trying to grab us QB2, and we were talking about Tom Brady. And
was he the one that said he doesn't want to spend a lot? So what about Dak? And we're just like, that's not really.
That's a lot. Yeah.
You're not going to get a very good quarterback with guys like Gabe Davis. Right. You're going to have to either give up a more solid player or add a decent pick to it. If you did Gabe Davis and any second, I think you'd have your pick of that lower, higher-ish end QB2s, I guess. That Matt Ryan area.
Yeah.
I think that might be a product of, Dynasty being awash with nerds who hate Davis's target share. I mean, it's like the Josh Allen thing. I find it's just better at this point for me to turn the corner and admit that it's paying off anyway. But you're probably going to find most done. Gavin Grant, feeling like I made a mistake. Competing team, I traded Terry. Oh, that's why. And Paris for Deontay and Gainwell about 3 weeks ago.
Yep,
I would still do that.
No,
but last week
I would rather have.
I'm always been a Terry fan, and because of that guy, I'm a Paris fan. So,
well, and Gainwell doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah,
and Deontay's not doing anything now. If this were last year, it would be a different story.
I mean, then it would be Deontay because Deontay and Terry was not having a great. and I will tell you though, it's having Heineke is such a huge difference for McLaurin. It really is, and I know that
we can reach him.
Well, we had this conversation before the year, and I distinctly remember the chat being like, "No," and I'm like, "Okay," but if you look at Wentz's throws, even last year in Indy, like he targeted guys, in the middle of the field close and shorter. Yeah, it was not what you think it was, and a lot of Pittman's production came on touchdowns. Like it really made me nervous for McLaurin. Well, Heineke fired up there, so.
But also, Heineke was there last year and was awful. Or was that the year before?
Just the year before.
Time means nothing anymore. Yeah. I don't remember.
And again, Gavin, I said it's fine. So, like, me and you, bro. But you now hate it, so I guess it's just me. It's fine. I'll stand over here. I would just say, like, Terry and Paris are both pretty good depth players. Deontay is right now, but, like, I like his volume, and hopefully the team improves. Same thing with Najee. And so you've traded up a little bit. Like, you've gotten rid of some of those extra wide receivers and gone for a player that I think is a higher ceiling all around.
Well, it was last year, but
that's why I don't mind it.
But he was not bad with McLaurin, though. I mean,
no, I like McLaurin too. It's just for Deontay. Andrew A. 2023 draft, great for running back, bad for wide receiver, in my opinion. I have 2 first-round grades on wide receiver. A TCU kid and Jalen Hyatt. Butte, I don't. The names.
Don't care. Keyshawn Butte 101 because of that name.
Playing terrible this year, and it's probably the year I care least about because it's the one that happens just before it goes to the draft. So that's the only thing I know right now. Would you trade Deontay Johnson on a 24 second for Drake London in a 12-team PPR 1 QB start 8 league? 24 seconds. Yeah.
No.
I'd probably keep Johnson in a second.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm trying to say yes because you're trading for the young guy, but it's like the last one. I keep liking
it's
Deontay.
Not bad.
Someone owns me for it.
Don't think it's good.
Later. It's fine. Was there someone that you would that you can get in that value range that's much more exciting than Drake London though?
St. Brown? Is he in that same?
Is St. Brown really that low? He was like top 7 in Dynasty ranks last time I looked.
I don't know.
All the trades you guys have mentioned have him a lot lower than that. So maybe I'm maybe
his trade value was never like what the ADP turned into.
Oh, okay.
And then he got hurt for a couple of games, and then his ADP dropped back down to like wide receiver 8.
So, I would try Amon-Ra St. Brown before any wide receiver in that value range then, because
I could not trade Amon-Ra St. Brown for Garrett Wilson in a second, because I was told Amon-Ra St. Brown and Garrett Wilson are pretty much the same.
I would rather have Garrett Wilson than Drake London.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at what Garrett Wilson is doing right now with Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
He's been pretty good. Wait. He's come back on over the last few weeks.
I know I'm jumping ahead in the chat, but this feels important. Free Vert Girl chat here.
What? I missed.
We got some free virtual girls chatting here.
Oh, I'm okay.
Oh, good.
Heart emoji, winky emoji.
Awesome.
Just letting you guys know.
Who's that a Deontay take?
I don't know that player. MC Lee, 8-2, and in an Empire League. Which was an Empire League?
Read.
What's that?
Yeah, the league ends when someone wins 2 years in a row.
Okay, I was just looking for some conversation. That's fine. League ends when someone wins 2 years in a row. Roster is strong, but could use another wide receiver running back. Should I be more inclined to deal Breece in this format, and who should I target?
If you if you need to win this year, like you won last year and you want to win this year, yeah, you deal Breece. I don't think you deal Breece otherwise, unless you're getting
one of those wide receivers.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Oh, you probably need to have a trade deadline in an Empire League. I hate that.
Mike G, would you send a top 323 first, likely a late 23 fourth, and a 23 second for the locked 101 to get Bajan? Bajan. Oh, I suck.
Wow. Okay,
how much would you add if
the
needed?
103, a 24 first, and then a 23 second to move up the 2 spots to get Bijan? No? Yeah. I just don't like running backs.
I have possibly 6 23 first. No, whatever. Like I know Bijan is supposed to be the end all be all, but like,
can we just send the 24 first to go get Saquon and call it a day?
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be better.
Like, I get that Saquon's 26, but like, that's you would be thrilled if Bijan turned it to Saquon this year.
And it also depends on what your team looks like too, because if you trade all those first and your roster is Bijan,
it doesn't help you.
It doesn't help you.
Yeah. I'm very much in favor of not going all in for just the running back 101, but
yeah,
again, I'm really not there with the running back class yet, or this class. Eric, Big Bad Boo. Looking at top scoring running backs this season makes me feel like I could just come out of a 3-year coma and miss nothing at all. Where's the young talent gone?
What you talked about preseasons, what we talked about with Jacob.
Just made a whole nother video about it. This should be expected. Yep. Like this is. I actually most of the running back calls I got wrong was expecting things to be a little bit better than they are, because I thought there'd still be a few breakouts. Like we have seen so few breakouts. It goes back to 2003. Outside of that, like this is what we should have. This is what we did expect.
2 names, like if Breece and Javonte didn't get hurt, I feel like that sways this entire conversation. It's literally just 2 guys, and that's not even including if Dobbins came back and just did decently, and
they're probably
one guy
that's
young came out of nowhere. But like, I get it. You're absolutely right. And coming into the season, I agree with you. It was not young running back time, but I don't think it's that bad.
The breakouts, they probably are missing breakouts, but realize that Eckler, Henry, Barkley, Chubb, Jacob, they would all still be in the top 12. It wouldn't, but like they don't get worse because Breece Hall is in New York. So production isn't young. Production is as young as the good players are. That's it. That's the mind trick the average plays on you. Most players score their points early until they get older. We haven't seen a 5th-year running back in the top 12 since 2008, because that's the last time we had. Well, not 2008, it's 2019. We haven't had a top 12 running back playing in his 5th year since then, because talent weighs into the position. Like, it should be coming down though, Eric. That's what I realize I'm ranting now for the same rant for the 3 different things I've done. It should be coming down pretty soon. But again, these players, if they stay healthy, have a few more years left before we even get to the end of their arc on the average. And remember that 2017, this class of running backs is better than every other arc we've seen. Like, so predicting only 2 years is a little stingy for the best era of running backs in terms of the longevity and the amount of occupation they've done in the top 12 compared to every other running back era. So like, yeah, we've probably still got another couple of years. It's really interesting, but it's also frustrating because someone sold a lie a few years ago and people are still like still getting
chicken a crow, crossing the road, go. Oh, sorry.
No, Jake didn't sell it. Jake was very.
No. I was. We just got a mini Dynasty Crossroads. I was
sorry.
Playing.
That was my whole podcast. That's fair. Gavin, Zach, what's your favorite Batman movie and why is it not the new one?
Oh, the new one was awful. The best Batman movie is really a Joker movie. It's Dark Knight, but it's because of Ledger. It's not because it's a Batman movie.
We had the
literally what Zach said. That's just what.
Except I actually liked the new Batman.
I hated it. I started it.
It is not your kind of movie.
I started it 6 different times, and I was like, I can't do this.
It is,
and I
not your movie.
like Zoe Kravitz, right?
Yeah.
Like she's fantastic. I'm like, no, I can't.
It is absolutely not your movie. But it is. I like it a lot.
Not my jam. Sorry.
There was a lot of very good things.
I mean, they're fine. Superhero.
I couldn't tell because it was too dark.
Yes, I'm really tired of that. Like, I want to be able to.
I've even seen
I get it. It needs to be dark because it's a Batman movie. Cool, that's fine. I shouldn't be squinting.
It has to be dark, and you have to talk as low as possible.
At least it wasn't like Christian Bale bad.
No, it wasn't.
Now that reminds me of films went through an era of like shaky camera work, even in non-faux documentaries. I gave up movies for. I was like, until you all figure out that I want to see a steady cam, like you should be able to afford a steady cam to make a like. I'm not watching that.
Fucking Cloverfield.
I hated that era. Yeah, I actually like Cloverfield the movie.
The movie itself was
good,
very
but
good.
The damn cam, shaky cam. Put a shaky cam in your film. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I just
661 BZ just got this offer: Godwin, Schultz, and Patterson for Lazard and commit.
I want Godwin, Schultz, and Patterson.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I want Godwin.
What?
Godwin by himself.
Is this like super overreaction to Komet's past 2 games? Is that what's happening?
I don't know why Lazard's in it though, because he just got Watson. But this is what commit just got 2 touchdowns, and now he's finally going to hit and sell it hard.
Yeah.
Non-contender Superflex Fields for Murray. I still like Murray.
I mean, to me, they're like 7 and 8.
Yeah, it's same position, same tier. And like you're not even like buying back points. Honestly, like maybe the reason I take Fields is because at least the sentiment is going up on Fields, but it seems to be going down pretty hard on Murray. But I mean,
too short. He can't throw over his lineman.
Receivers are too short to see over. To see.
No, that's literally why Rondell Moore is doing good now. By the way, that's what I got told the other week. I was like, he's been doing good for a while, but whatever.
But they are also using him down the field now. I'm like, what? Why haven't you been doing this the whole time? No, he doesn't need to have a negative 4-yard ADOT. Like he's whatever. Anyway,
anything that proves a narrative is retrofitted to it. It's just, I really appreciate you, Gavin. Like you and the guy who taught me how to say, ETN just by using
the letters. ETN. I know that one worked out so well. I love it.
I literally write it that way now because that's the way I think of it.
Yep.
Like I had to in articles I do ETN and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna want the have to fix.
You just got to get in, like, go into your dictionary.
That's his name to me.
Change ETN to the actual spelling.
And now this is how I'm going to be spelling Dulcich. So appreciate you all. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Andrew, what are your thoughts on Paris Campbell? Take it away, Zach.
I mean, he's fine. I don't think he has any value. I don't think anybody will trade for him. I think he's a middle of the road wide receiver 2-3.
Wait, did I get that trade done?
I think he has a high capacity to score touchdowns. He's got a higher red zone usage than Pittman on the season, and he hasn't played as many games. And like you said about his slant route, that's the thing he does.
If Matt Ryan, because Jeff Saturday came back and brought Matt Ryan back, Paris Campbell is going to score points with Matt Ryan. He will.
There you go. I don't think
but I don't think I don't think he has much value. Like if you can,
game value, you could say.
Yeah, but like if you can take Campbell in your second and get a first, I would do that.
Would it be okay to think of him as like a discount Gabe Davis, someone that you can plug in as a really great wide receiver 3, but he doesn't carry that value.
Yeah, but I don't think he's got the touchdown upside per game that Davis does. That's the thing that Davis does. Is like Davis will have a matchup,
70-yard bomb.
Davis will have a matchup or something, and all of a sudden Allen will hit him twice or 3 times, and that's a huge game. I don't think Campbell does that. I think Campbell's more likely to go. Yeah, Campbell's more likely to go like 6 catches, 7 catches for like 65, 75 yards, and then hopefully he scores a touchdown.
Alex, rebuilding 14-team Superflex, start 9. Only have Tua. My pick is the 101. Move a mid-23 first and McBride for Lance. Huh.
I don't want to risk Lance.
That's risk reward, but if you're rebuilding, that's not the kind of trade I'm looking to do. I like the energy though.
I would rather move up. I would rather pair McBride in the 106 once we get to the draft and try to move up to the 103 because one of those quarterbacks is going to be there at 103. Or take the quarterback 101. Like you can do that too, but
blasphemy.
Blast for you, blast for everybody in the room. Where am I getting that from? Some actor sang that song in a movie
that sounds like it would be something out of Book of Mormon, but
it sounds something. No, I haven't seen it. It's something Jim Carrey did probably. Alan, Mooney or Ridley rebuilding next year, possibly or 2024. I don't know what that means. Mooney or Ridley?
I think I would rather have Ridley.
Yeah, it's easy to forget. Ridley's really good.
And if Christian Kirk can be a top 12 wide receiver on this team, Ridley can be like a.
That's fair.
Yeah. So
the only issue with Ridley is if he's like, no, fuck you, NFL. This is terrible of you. I don't want to play. I have my money.
My guess is that they talked to him before he got traded.
That's what I said, and then I got told that I was being optimistic.
Well, no, I mean Jackson.
I always assume.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
NFL no, they're not gonna. Yeah, my. It would be an incredibly inept organization if they did not talk to a player that they were trading for.
Like, wasn't there that
what organization were we talking
player
about?
that found out in the middle of a game that he got traded?
Yeah, I guess. But
Ridley or Day, I'll go for that upside, frankly. But Parker, Superflex start 10, traded ETN and Josh Palmer for Pickens, a 24 first, a 23 202. Heavy rebuild. And that's what it gives him. Palmer and Pickens,
I think you should have got more.
Yeah,
ETN,
more.
Pickens, a 24 first and the 202. It's not bad. I mean, like, that is a realistic ETN trade, not a top 3 RB.
Yeah, but ETN's going to be a top 3 RB.
But I enjoy the fact that, like, this is what I've been screaming about Jonathan Taylor and why you should have traded him away the second he became the RB1, because just because he's the RB1 doesn't mean he was worth the same that anyone else was as the RB1.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, you traded ETN before he got to that value.
I don't think he should.
Well, but he's going to.
He's going to. He already is in ranks in keep trade cut. We just went into ADP cycle.
If he does not get injured in the next 8 games, yes, he will be.
No.
He had his first good game, and I was arguing with every fucking analytics quant on Twitter saying he was already top 5 without realizing that there was more. Like, they already had him top 5 after that first good game. They're definitely going to be by this.
Oh, yes. No. Right now, Travis Etienne is a top 5 dynasty running back, like, without question.
And that is.
I don't think the trade value matches what we think of a top 5 running back, though. I don't think
that's what. Yeah. We're saying the same thing. Where are we on Pickens, though? He had the great catch and then stopped playing, as far as I know.
That team is just so bad that it's going to be tough to see that he's good, but he's good.
Yeah. Okay. Just checking.
So this is.
I mean, they undervalued. ETN is being undervalued.
They shipped Claypool.
Yeah.
because they've got Pickens.
Yeah, it's the
Doesn't
thing we
that
bank on the
equalize
play
it, though?
situation.
Doesn't
No.
that equalize it? If Pickens is being undervalued here because of what's going on the team, and ETN's being undervalued here for whatever reason, isn't it actually the same?
No,
Higher
because
value than
because ETN is actually a top 5 at his position, and
Okay.
Pickens is not.
All right.
Period.
Alan, Christian Kirk and a 4th for Traylon Burks and a 3rd.
Kirk.
I don't mind
as
trading
much as I
Kirk for
hate it.
Burks.
As much as I hate it, you take the points.
I take the upside. Why? What is it about me that's so broken? I would just bet on Burks at the price of Christian Kirk. Wide receiver 7 or not? I do.
But like next season,
Because he's
Ridley-
not. He's really wide receiver 16. It's just he hasn't, like Russ said.
He isn't as bad yet. But like, Ridley comes in, Christian Kirk falls to like a wide receiver 20-ish. Like,
I don't think that
super
team
far off of
sustains
what you
it.
think Burks will end up being.
Well, yeah, my hope for Burks was that he would have more than just top 24 upside. Again, it's not looking like it, but I put him in a slightly higher range of outcome.
but it's not,
if he is as good as I hope.
Yeah, it's hard to me. It's hard to knock Burks for being injured, but it's also hard not to be like, that's not great.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, you're taking all the risk here, but I think there's more upside, and I just lean on it. But yeah, 2 versus 1.
I would rather have Fields than Watson. Also,
I don't know what you're talking about, but yes.
Deshaun Watson or Fields?
Oh, that, yeah, straightforward. Yes, Fields.
Bryce traded a late second for Michael Carter. Not my favorite, but wanted to stay competitive and shallow at running back as the Breece Hall owner.
Russ likes it. Peter, I heard Peter say James Robinson. I don't know. I'm just
I was literally just thinking, isn't it James
business.
Robinson's job now? I've stopped being interested in Michael Carter, to be honest with you. But sure,
You're allowed to be wrong every once in a while.
I'm wrong a lot, but I take my shots. Damn it! That guy. No, sorry, Gazurk. Let's try it. Like Gazurk.
Sure.
You're all just staring at me.
Gazurk.
What would you send a top 23 first, likely late, 24 first?
I think we
and a late
answered
23
this.
second.
No, this is a little different, isn't it?
No,
The top 3.
So a lot 101 to get
first and a
Deshaun, would
second.
it's
No,
insanely similar if it's not the exact same thing.
No,
Well,
the other
It's
one
not from
was,
Gazurk because we would have noticed that name before.
the other one was like 3 firsts and another first to get.
No, it was the 103 through 5, like an early to mid first, plus the 24 first, plus the 202 to get to the 101.
Top 3 first, late first. Yeah.
It's not bad. I still wouldn't do it, but it's not bad.
No, this is the same. Top 3, a late 24 first, and a 23. This is the same. This is the exact same.
It's a good price if you really want to go get Bijan.
Yeah.
This is a good way to do it. As a non-running back guy, I wouldn't do it. But like, if you want to go get Bijan, this is a good price to go get Bijan.
I think Zach's point that if that's all you're going to have on your team after you get this done, don't do it. Outside of that, it's.
Well, he said he also has 3 likely top 6. So if you're sending one,
you're just swapping, so you'll still have 3.
Yeah, so you send one, and I don't mind doing that. I don't mind trading the 24 first to get Bijan if your team is ready to go.
I think that's fair. Alec, do you guys charge for your strategy for Dynasty playoffs if you're playing total point weeks 15 through 17 instead of heads-up game? Do you change your strategy
for our Dynasty strategy?
Freudian slip there, folks.
That'll be $7, Alex. No.
can't stop being owned. I don't know what it is about me. I just enjoy being owned so much. Yeah, do change your strategy if your playoffs change through week 17 instead of a heads-up game.
No.
I always try to score the most points I can. So
yeah, that's.
I just score the most points and hope it works out for me. That's no. I
although in the Scott Fish Bowl right now, I'm only starting my lineup at like a 79% efficiency, which is just.
I was gonna say Zach's big scheme is to poorly set his lineup, so he surprises everyone in the finals. That's his idea. Yeah. How do you feel about John Michie? I tell you what. What did I have to do today? I had to look up his ID to make sure that his stuff was looking up right in my database. And I was like, oh, yeah, John Michie. Huh. And that's literally the only thought I've had about John Michie since he was drafted.
I hope that is...
I haven't seen anything about him. Is he healthy? Or getting
cancer treatment?
Like, I don't know if he had surgery or if he went through his chemo yet. Like, I don't even... Time is an illusion. I can't remember even how long ago we found out about this to know if he would have finished his chemo yet.
I'm rooting for the player and obviously for the person to get back and healthy, but I had mediocre expectations if he was perfectly healthy based on his college profile. So
he is guys we were more excited because of where he landed than the player himself.
He has since completed his treatment of October 6th.
I assume that's good.
Yep,
that's awesome. Well, I assume that's awesome. Completed it in a positive way.
Yep.
Because you can't complete it and it fails. Forget it. Yeah. Hoping for the best for him, but dynasty wise, I don't have many thoughts.
I don't think they're going and spending anything significant to go get John Mechie.
No.
12-team Superflex start 8. Flip Robinson Jr. for Pittman. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do that. That's
nice.
Need to capitalize on the buy low for Pittman.
Yep.
There must be a buy low for Pittman. There's a lot of Pittman trades flying around today. That's interesting. That's a good move.
I mean, did B-Rob do something to be worth Pittman?
He had 80 something yards and a touchdown last week.
It was a really good touchdown, though.
Yeah.
He moved the entire defensive line. That was a really good touchdown.
Competing team send 5 first plus a 24. I think this is similar, right? 24 likely late first, and Thielen and Chuba. Get Adams, Henry, likely early 24 second.
What? No.
523 first for Adams.
A top 5 is what I'm hearing.
Oh, it's meant to say a top 5.
Yeah, not all 523 first.
Yeah, I missed the word top, and I just saw 523 first.
Yeah,
a top 523 first.
A 24 first.
24 first. Thielen
and
Chuba to get Adams, Henry, and an early second to go all in. Yeah, I don't mind doing that. It's kind of like what I just did.
Yeah.
If that's right, and that's a top 5, just 2 first, basically, for Henry and Adams.
A 23 first, a 24 first, Thielen and Chuba or whatever. Yeah. I would do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's that's pretty much what I mean, I've done that in a couple of leagues. Russ, you and I did that where I got Adams and Eckler.
I just did that. Wasted your picks.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. And that's a strong yes. Zach, is Kyler a sell now?
No, because his value is too low.
And also, it shouldn't be. I think the player's pretty good. But Gavin Ferguson, Fields so high, possibly because I've only seen him run so far. But I mean, it's nice to see. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so the reason I disagree with this is because we're still at the point where this isn't an offense designed for him yet. They tried to do something in the beginning of the season, and they don't redesign an offense in the middle of a season. This is literally them just saying, go ahead, man. Go do whatever. And he's running a lot, which is great for fantasy. And even if he is not a great real-life quarterback, this is the last year Jalen Hurts argument. Jalen Hurts, we kept talking about him maybe losing his job because he's not great in real life and they have the draft capital. Fields has the capital. But, it doesn't matter because he's still going to score you a ton of points. But I also think we've already seen that Fields is a very good passer.
How many times do we need to see a quarterback come in, use his legs to win games, and then develop as a player? We saw it with Josh Allen. We saw it with Lamar Jackson. We've seen it with Jalen Hurts. We've seen it with Justin Fields. Like, this is a thing. And when teams realize that there is another way to do things besides the Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, stand back in the pocket like a statue. And again, Justin Fields is doing this with the Sisters of the Poor School for the Blind playing wide receiver for him.
So what I'm hearing is go buy Malik Willis.
Here's the thing.
I'm not there yet.
Here's my thing. The thing about Hurts is his trade value doesn't reflect his ranking or what we just described. Fields does. That's why I'm like,
only because of the last 2 weeks.
Yes, but his value is actually there, is it not? Like, I mean, you could get what we should get for Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, he's quarterback 8, whatever. Like,
that's the only reason I'm saying maybe. But then it's a generic question anyway. We've got what's the trade? Sell high. What's high look like to you? I can't say it generically because you might do a terrible trade and then blame me. If you get Hurts plus, sure, that's a win in my opinion. If you get Tua plus, that's a win in my opinion. If you're talking about I can get 2 firsts, like no, not in the super flights. That's too little. So we're at the point where possibly, but it depends on the trade.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna say. Yeah. And both of those guys were right too.
Man, I don't know what you're saying. Like, I see, like, I'm looking at the trade finder, and it looks like the trade value is there for Hurts.
Yeah,
is it? I'm not saying that.
Let's see, Hurts for Stafford, Pierce, and a first. I mean, that's 2 first plus.
Would you do that for Fields?
Yes. Hurts and Keenan Allen for Goff, Curtis Samuel, a 23 and 24 first. Hurts for Jamar Chase. That's a gross one. Hurts for 2 23 firsts. Oh, and $150 in a contract league. I mean, I don't know what that really means. Hurts and Jonathan Taylor for 2 23 firsts and 2 24 firsts.
That's too low.
Malik
maybe I'm looking them up wrong. I'm seeing Trey Lance and Smith for Hurts. I'm seeing Hurts and Njoku for Matthew Stafford and Dameon Pierce and a first. Like, I'm seeing much worse trades. I don't know why.
I literally just read that exact trade to you.
Which one?
Stafford, Pierce in the first.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I hate that trade. Well, yeah, I don't like that.
But it's like,
it's still
for source. Yeah,
that's 2 plus firsts. I mean, that's
since
it's weird broken down, but like that's a value.
Since week 6, when the story came out of Chicago that they had watched the Ravens offense and they were going to like try to adapt their offense to suit Justin Fields.
I missed that.
Huh?
I missed that story.
Oh, no, they definitely, that was a thing. Like, since then, he's been the quarterback 1 full stop. So week 6 through 10. By both points per game and total points.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your ceiling. That's what I want in a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I want that ceiling. He's not going to stay there all the time. Like, that's not going to be a thing. But he can have seasons. It's the Lamar Jackson. Like, he can have a season where he wins you your league. And I want that.
Exactly. It's Lamar Jackson, and it's about what's the trade, and that's the range we're putting him in terms of range of outcomes. That's all I'm saying. Josh,
He also
price
kicked
on
the
Dalton Schultz
out of the Patriots, who have a very good defense.
There you go. Maybe Dak number 2.
I think that means his second target.
Yeah.
Like Dak's number 2 target.
Schultz is fine, but he's outside of even that. What do we call it? Just the the cohort of interesting tight ends. For me,
that's a very fancy term. Zach and I went like that of tight ends.
Yeah, I tried to do the noise. I'm not good with noises. I think it's worth a second. Okay. Brandon, what should I try to get for Antonio Gibson? I want to trade him, but I have no idea what he's truly worth.
You're not going to get much for Antonio Gibson.
No, if I can get a second for Gibson, I'm very happy at this point.
Yeah. And again, like we've always said, we give generic answers in first, but they're not a true guide. And you got to get some offers on the table, and see what he's worth in your league. You know, a generic late first, but not a first kind of an answer for me. Andrew Carlson. Also, I like the video. Everyone else should. I appreciate it, Andrew. Thanks very much. I just realized we've gone past midnight, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna have to speed up here a little bit because my co-hosts, have lives, and so do I.
I might be falling asleep in this chair at this moment. Just putting it out there.
I need a pee. That's honestly what made me realize it. Gavin, CD for Tony. LOL. To each their own. You know what I mean?
Well, we're far behind.
I've lost track of where we actually are, so this might be going badly right now. There we go. Brandon Thompson, 1 QB, 10-team, half-point PPR competing. Sent 223 first, probably third or fourth for Javonte Williams.
223 first.
Just say 223 first, dude. Javonte Williams for ETN, AJ Brown, and DJ Moore. Like, what were the firsts about? Sent 2 firsts.
Well, so 2 firsts is AJ Brown, Javonte Williams, and ETN and DJ. I'd rather have ETN, AJ Brown, and DJ Moore, I think.
Is that what the question? Yeah, this is the.
It's not just me, right? It's not just me this time. There's there's something.
There's punctuation going on, and then there's punctuation missing, and
so it's 2 firsts. Probably third and fourth, so probably the 103 and 104. Javonte
Williams.
Yep. For ETN, AJ Brown, DJ Moore.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. And
ETN,
probably adds Bijan too.
Nice.
XFL star Bendinucci, Flowosaurus.
Danucci.
That's the happiest I've seen Zach in a minute. Brandon, thoughts? Words are tough. That is true. For me, Mike Williams has missed 1 game.
No yards per carry, me, bro.
Has it really only been? Did they have their bye recently? Is that why it feels like more? Maybe. I don't know.
I just look it up, but I'm just going to trust Gavin. Why wouldn't I?
I'm just slows to a halt when Mike Williams isn't playing. I don't know what else to say.
Andrew A. Tony can play slot outside and gimmick plays. So him high point the ball in double coverage. In my opinion, the Dynasty community only sees his as a gadget guy. I don't know what to see him as, and I don't have a category which is gadget guy. There's just not a lot to compare him to, and it seems like the NFL so far has struggled to find a role that works for him.
Because he's always played as a gadget guy. I mean, this is the same thing you heard about Laviska Shenault. Whatever. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's worked for Debo, but again, different player. Again, he needs a role built, or he needs to learn more about ease into the position in a way he hasn't before.
Debo didn't play the gadget role when he started.
Correct.
That's true.
And
was very good.
Field.
Yeah. Debo also, and this is totally not here or there. Debo runs that slant inside the 10-yard line better than anybody in the league except for Devontae Adams. He's so good at that. He's so quick off the line. Boom.
Remember when Odell Beckham was good?
Yeah, I do. I'm hoping he comes back. He's on my Scott Fishbowl team.
Those are the days. Maybe the future days. Carl.
Him and Michael Thomas, the 2 guys that just run a slant and take it for 99 yards for no reason.
Yep. And Jarvis Landry, the guy who runs a slant and takes it for 7 yards, whether you like it or not.
Damn straight.
God damn it, I'm getting
but
you those 7
yards. But he does it 16 times a game.
Have Warren on taxi. Is now peak value. Did Jalen Warren do something? I missed it.
He's getting
take
decent carry. He's getting double-digit carries.
Okay.
Like he's getting a decent workload, and they have an easy schedule going forward. That
I would say I would hope a third isn't peak value. If you can't get a second, this
is what we call like the Zach special here. Like Warren in a third for a second. Like there's no reason to sell Warren for a third.
Right. Yeah, third doesn't do you any good. So
there are now 2 Zach specials. That's canon now. You realize what you've just done. Josh,
Vader.
Better movie villain, Sauron or Vader? There you go, Vader. Alan, CD for Tony
close your eyes, listen to that eyeball go back and forth, or
there's the answer is just Vader without.
He's got better theme music. I'm just gonna say it. Gavin, why can Herbert's weapons improve, but Tua's can't?
Because it's Waddle and Hill.
I mean, I guess they could trade for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, right.
He's got 2 top 12 wide receivers. That's pretty rare.
Like maybe they upgrade on Gesicki. I don't know. Like but like
there.
But I think
there is more room for improvement.
It's the comparison of weapons. Tua's weapons are better, which means Herbert's have further to go up. Yeah.
Doc Rivers, 12-man Superflex start 10. Which side? JT, top 323 first, or Kenneth Walker?
JT in the first.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And he doesn't want to be called Kenneth anymore. It's Ken.
I know, but it was written Ken. Alan, JSN, Josh Downs.
True.
Jackson,
Smith and Jigbo and Josh Downs. So someone who said that they only had like 2 first-round rated wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a deep class. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to start digging in.
Fun. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not always fun. This past rookie season was not that fun. 2019 was not that fun. 2015,
But so you define it by the players. I define it by how many weird and esoteric values some people have on players. I like the arguments. I'm sorry. Flow Source is Andrew A's world, and we're all just living in it. I assume that's true. Maddie, what should we give up? Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk, and a late 23 first, and Heineke and Hines for a QB. I think we answered this twice, didn't we? Yes. Also open up adding Ritter in. Yeah, you can add Ritter. You can add whatever you need to go get one of those discounts. Those are all depth pieces, and you're pushing to win. And I'm not concerned about packaging them up to go get something that secures my potential win.
I can't even find where you are, Peter, on this.
We are at 11:40. Man, I am fading fast, fellas.
There you go. And 12-man Superflex, which side? JT and we did. Oh, no, this is slightly different. Kenneth Walker and Hollywood. Okay, there's more to it. And on the 106 and a 24 second. That's a lot closer.
Oh, so you're only moving back 3 spots.
And you get Hollywood as well.
Yeah, I do that one then.
Yes, that I like that. That's fine.
Loves less. Okay, he needs to do some research then. Apparently he has. I kind of respect when someone's got a take because they've went and looked at their own information. I'm happy to consider someone else's opinion, but it's wild compared to my own, where I personally am. But hell, I sold Tyreek Hill, so I can talk. Zach Cole, trade Toney for Kittle. 1 QB, half-point PPR, no tight end premium.
Kittle.
Yes, Kittle, all day, every day. And it's okay that you have Pitts as well, and Everett. Trade Everett. Jamar Chase and a 24 first, 23 second for CeeDee Lamb and Pittman. It's just Chase.
I'd rather have Chase, yeah.
RBs are insane in my league. I've been trying for. This is the guy we were talking about where he wants Ramondre Stevenson and it's the first, but it's non-PPR. Thank you, Addison. Yeah, it always kind of is, but appreciate it. My team is very young, and I have Mahomes, solid young wide receivers like those. I need a stud running back. If you're winning, you do. If you're not, you don't.
Pair Dobbins. Use Dobbins as one of your firsts. Pair Dobbins in a first and go get a running.
That's what I was going to say. Like, if you are winning, it's okay to take those somewhat disappointing running back and go get one that's scoring points right now.
Or even Swift, for that matter. But yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they are.
That's a good question.
Drake or Herbert?
Well, Herbert's on the IR, so Drake.
Yep.
Yes.
And he's also a running back.
Well, they both are.
Oh! I was thinking London.
Herbert?
I assumed that was Kenyon Drake, based on the.
Neither. I'd rather have Herbert than
Herbert?
Kenyon Drake.
I was going to say I'd rather have Herbert as well. I'd rather have Herbert. Sorry. Amanda, 12-team PPR, 1 QB, start 8 Dynasty. That's her team.
Yep. Seems
good.
I'd like to use Kamara to upgrade my quarterback or tear down. Any moves? Yeah, that's definitely a move you can make, especially on a team where okay selling points.
Oh man, like you go to a competing team that has like Mahomes, and you say Kyler and Kamara for Mahomes. Like I feel like they
Mahomes,
take that.
Josh Allen, those are the two that you're obviously aiming at.
Like I feel like they would do that.
Could you get a second good quarterback? It's
one. It's
one
quarterback.
QB.
So
that doesn't
again,
matter. Forget me. Yeah.
Yep, but that's a move, Amanda, that I love to make is get.
I was just wondering,
super top tier. Yeah. Yep.
I was wondering about bumping Jimmy G to the Fields or Tua tier instead of trying to upgrade Kyler. That's the only reason I started that sentence.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
The rest of that team,
I love that idea, man. I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Or maybe, Goddard was your tight end. You might need to do something about that.
Yeah, fair. Gavin Ferguson, but Fields hasn't won games. It's really an NFL problem.
It doesn't matter.
But it's true. And it's
the 21 Eagles weren't winning games
invested.
either. That's why we thought he was going to get replaced.
They want this guy to work out. And the game stat, as much as it affects his future, is more about if the team's going to be like, we need to do something. But I think the team's excited and like they're literally turning their offense around to fit him. They're not like going to be like, oh, we're not winning enough games. Let's go draft another guy. You know what
it's
I mean?
almost like they spent a first round pick on him.
Almost like exactly that. Great show. Always recommend my friends to watch. Down to earth, very solid content. Appreciate that, man. Thanks very much. Fred Bread, Fields has a top 5 worst O-line. There's a lot of places the team can improve. Yeah. Maddie, don't understand how Hurts is going for that little in value. Some of those House isn't wrong. There is some decent trades going on for Hurts. It's all about what is the trade.
Fantasy football people way too long to get over lower draft capital.
Thank you.
And there's also the
NFL Brown.
There's also the NFL zeitgeist of running quarterbacks. Oh, this is different. And so like you've got the fantasy aspect of it, but you've also got is the NFL going to cut this guy because he's not? I mean, it's the same thing that Gavin's been talking about. Are we going to cut Jalen Hurts because he only won 9 games in his first 2 seasons? And he's won 8 this year.
Andrew, I get that you don't like the comparisons. The point is there aren't too many. Sorry. Gavin Fields.
It's
last 5 games.
Now. I need
to
go sleep.
Bye, sir. Thank you very much.
I mean, I can give you my write-ups for my film notes, Andrew, if you want. That's fine.
Gavin, Fields 5 less games. This is more about the games wins, I assume.
Yeah, and QB wins. QB wins is not a stat. Like quarterbacks don't necessarily control wins.
2 14 more. Yeah, Keenan
he
Allen's
was
one of my favorite wide receivers. Again,
great
it's just said
last
he's
year.
been unavailable a lot this
Right.
year. Mike Williams has been in and out of the roster. Josh Palmer is good, but you're comparing them to two currently of the top 12 talented and fantasy wide receivers. That's all I meant. Not like they doesn't have good weapons. And to be fair, when they were healthy, Herbert went off when he had his good weapons available. This year is not a representation of Herbert with max good weapons. That feels like a fair statement to me. Nicholas, 5-5, middle of the pack this year, sold ETN, Cooper, and a late 23-4 second. For DK, Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's someone I can't make up on my mind on, so I just stay out.
Yeah.
Like I don't, or will continue not to believe it. That's just me. Mid to late 24 first, late 23 second. Have 4 firsts or 424. Thoughts?
I like getting DK, but the first being out 2 years is tough if you're.
It feels like you got pretty close to what the value you were talking about ETN. Like you gave up Cooper too, though. I like Cooper. It's
I don't know.
close.
That's just a tough. That's a tough one to me.
The difference between where I am and what that trade is could well be what you're able to manage in your league, though. If you know what I mean, you can't get ideal trades all the time, and this is you definitely haven't done badly. You've got good players and some pieces to move as well, so I like it. Yeah, good job, Nicholas. You're out there grinding, man. That's my thought. I appreciate it. Steve, would you send Swift Pacheco, another name I can't say properly, and a mid-second for the 23-101? Swift? I mean, yes. I'm going to say I don't know this rookie class, but if even in 80% of what's true about Bijan is true, this is yes.
Yeah, but when I'm rebuilding, I don't want my running backs yet.
That's a fair point. I think the value.
Again, I would rather, if I'm rebuilding, I would rather send Swift, Pacheco, and a second and go get one of those wide receivers and another first, not necessarily the 101, but like a mid and start to rebuild. I don't think
if you had either of those trades available, I'd probably lean the one where you're getting a wide receiver in the first. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, I don't think it's a bet. Like, I don't think the value's that far off in terms of like getting the 101.
Do you think he could turn around and trade that 101 for something like what you want instead, though? And the first is more valuable to more. But the value's there. We're just saying that shouldn't be your end goal. So if you're going to cascade trade it, maybe. If not, then this isn't the one I try and do. Or Zach would try and do. Or me. Both of us. It's late. Gavin, the 21 Eagles were a playoff team.
I mean, they were 9-8. It's not like they were beating the world.
Newton. I get it. What should I look for in return for Singletary, Sanders? Emmanuel Sanders? No, Miles Sanders. Damian Harris and Chubbs, who I'm assuming
that's Chuba. But if it's Nick Chubb should be worth it a first and maybe a little bump.
You think he would have listed him first? This is a package of.
This is a whole bunch of like seconds that you want to be a first.
What I'd say is don't send all of these guys in one trade because it's just going to feel like a package of stuff and people aren't going to like it. So try and pair them with other things like a generic second or something and try and target players that we've listed or that you like in a slightly higher tier. You're trying to use them to package up, tier up in value a little bit, just as a generic answer. Sanders is, if that's Chuba, Sanders is the only one that you might find everyone's willing to value a little higher, so you can send him in single trades.
I think like Sanders and Singletary are guys that you might be able to make a deal with a contender.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it depends what they have. At that point, when you're looking at your roster that way, it's more about what rosters can I target? What do they have that I think is better for me because I'm building in value? Right. So it's a little hard to give generic.
That's
answers.
One where you might be able to be like Singletary or Sanders and your second and try to get their late first if they're a contender, that sort of thing.
It's the type of thing where you go to your league page, you go with this lineup. With half of them, you just go into the top and you're going to see if any of them are missing any running back value, and then see if there's any David Bells or Traylon, someone that's disappointing and young at tight end and quarterback tends to be where I look first, but also wide receivers. And for the other guys who aren't playing right now, you go to the bottom and see if anyone might be interested in them there. Steve, I probably flipped the 101, typically typing literally as you guys are talking about flipping it. Thanks, you all. Under sub. I appreciate that, Steve.
Appreciate it, Steve.
Peter,
look over there.
Steve Luddy. That was too quick for me.